Hello everybody and welcome back to the Summoners War European League 2025. Sadly, I'm Sam and I'm back here again bringing all the action with you with the wondrous Mr. Seishizu. How are you and how's it been the past few weeks without me?
It's been pretty well. Didn't miss you at all. No, actually, I did miss the puns. I did miss like the nice interactions at the start of the match about hearing the most magnificent words that only the man himself can do. So yeah, definitely did miss you a bit, but we also had a great blast these last 2 weeks and a lot of amazing matches. Definitely still going in the style of people like to use their own LDs, making it work that way, but also a little bit of meta changes kind of around the blocks, but let's see what these players can do today.
Exactly, you'll be filling all of us in, and especially me, say, on everything that's been happening over those past few weeks. But obviously we've got many more matches that are going to be coming today with some of the players that have obviously played a little bit less than others in the league as well. So these guys really want to pick up some extra points to kind of get back into even standings, I would say, in the current leaderboard. It's going to be interesting to see, and if you don't already know it, and if you already don't know it by now, it's week 4. You can see our match process. We're doing best of 2s during this league setup with our playoffs going all the way through to the best of 7s. Every Wednesday, we're here at 8 o'clock, apart from me the past 2 Wednesdays, but every other Wednesday now, we'll be here at 8 o'clock. And why are they all here? Because obviously there's some big bucks to be winning right there. 10,000 euros as a prize pool for our players. The top 4 are going to be taking some of that share home with them. But it's all up to play for, and we've still got plenty of weeks left to go into those playoffs as well right now. So any standout players from maybe even last week that really stood out for you?
Well, I would say one of the players that stands out for me is going to be playing this week, which is Slave, which actually came in as a G2 right now, and he's holding himself pretty well. Also, what is very interesting to see for the leaderboards right now, no one is making an insane gap on the players. Like the most amount of points that people could get after this week is 12 points. That is winning all of your matches. But the highest we had so far is 8. And from the players that were playing last week, I think the lowest amongst them was 4. So the gap on that is not super big.
Wow, Mr. Statman right there, throwing out numbers left, right and centre. You've been doing your homework right now, and I can see that for sure. Well, yeah, those leaderboards are going to be getting changed today. We're going to be having 9 different matches where we're going to see exactly who can take those extra points. Being that best of 2, every single set is worth that extra point. And like you said, if you can't get a lead right now, let's see how the rest of the bunch kind of react to that situation where it's going to be a little bit closer. And here you can see it. Those are the matches for today. Say any big major standouts for here? You said Slay. He's got some tough opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also just funny to see the flags on the right side. It just looks colorful that way, with just the blue, the white, and the red in different kind of angles. But on the other side, we do have a bunch of German players as well. For names that actually stand out, well, PinkRoid, of course, the winner of last year, but also Malignant played very well in his first iteration of the first day that he played. So definitely a few very strong players right here.
Yeah, definitely very strong. And of course, it's me back on the microphone. The Sam alien mic has come back, but hopefully it's going to get fixed and you'll hear this lovely voice a little bit longer right now. Malignant versus Slay. Malignant is probably topping in terms of on the leaderboard all of the players that haven't played all of those matches at the moment, say. Who's your favoured player going into this one?
Well, I would give it to Malignant, but on the other side, I am a guilty of Slay, and Slay pulled something very nice. And I can give a hint. He got a blessing, and he refused on a Dark Gojo. So that can already say that the man has something nice in his box right now.
Definitely does right there. Why did Slay go to the doctor? Because his malignant obsession with winning was spreading far too fast, say. Maybe with that new LD as well, he needs to go to the doctors and check it out. We've got a Laura being pre-banned there, along with the Hey Gang.
That is definitely an interesting Hey Gang right there. That might already give a little bit of hints what he might be playing. But let's see if he first locks in for just the standard typical speed leads that we always see on the first pick. Oliver's Chandras. Oliver it is.
Oliver locking it in there with that 33% speed lead. Malignant looking to respond with his own speed lead there with Ciara. Partnering it up with a Gianna.
Ooh, Gianna, very well read by Malignant as well, that if Hey Gang is off the field, Gianna becomes really good to be picked early on. So definitely something that Slay has to be worrying about. Goes for own speed units in the sense of a segment. Is he going to go for double speed? No, actually goes one of the harder counters into a Gianna right now, as is that Dark Panda.
Yeah, Mi Ying coming out onto the field there with that Sekhmet. We're going into even more speed leads and speedy units there, say a Han coming out and that Yonhong.
That's a lot of speedy contested units there on the side of Malignant. Options that you could go for right now is maybe a Gyu. It's getting a little bit more popularity into the meta. On the side of Malignant, there's currently only one strip that is AoE, but he's probably going to be locking in a second strip. And there's no Hagang on the field, whereas normally you would like to use that Hagang very much. So Slay is going to go for his own speed contesting units and actually going for a Josephine. So there's a little bit of both over there.
Yeah, signaling that Gianna is going to be staying in this match going into it right now. Malignant has that last pick to determine how he's going to play this matchup. You were suggesting a stripper.
Yeah, we have to be looking at AoE strip. This is kind of the position you want that Woundsai in. If you have a Woundsai, it's absolutely the best position to lock that in. But if you don't have that, maybe some of a turn 2 kind of comp is an option as well, as in that light pony. But it might be just mixing up the draft a little bit too much. But let's see if that works out.
Let's find out. Bans will be coming in very soon. We already said that likely to stick with that Gianna on the side of Malignant, as Slay has some counters on his picks. But who are you favouring?
Well, I would say removing speed lead, as in Oliver, is definitely a way to have that Sekhmet and that Burkle maybe not be that oppressive in the first few turns. On the other side, there's a few options. You could go for the pony, but the Han is also a good option.
Yeah, Han, always super dangerous, getting off so much damage from that skill 3. We're going to see the Yonhong band out as well as that Oliver, so no speed lead going in for the side of Slay, but Malignant does have that choice going for the 24 with Ciara and Sekhmet on that HP lead. Let's get into it. Our Summoners War European League, Day 4, Match 1, Set 1 between Malignant and Slay.
First turn belongs, of course, to the Sekhmet. Sekhmet, are you going to land? That is always the very important factor. And where do you land it? Goes for the Ciara, does land it. Skill 2 coming in from this Burkle. Can you connect it? Once again, very important. But also the question, where are you going to connect it? Because Burkle most of the time is not a high accuracy unit. Does not connect fully. It's actually on Violent.
Yeah, Viosa now can land that defense break, which might come in clutch with a Mi Ying maybe taking a turn. Skill 2? No?
Actually, no the skills at all. It is interesting to not go for that bomb and actually get the additional turn to recover from that, I would say, almost a mistake, because you want to land that bomb. In the end, the bomb cannot go off on the Burkle anyway, so might as well just do it. Plus, the Burkle's going to get a lot of turns, and even that hot will help with that.
Big damage coming in right now. You can look to clean it up as well with that skill 1 right now. Mi Ying's going to have to pull something out of his, well, mechanical armor.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of damage coming in right there already. But in this case, where are you going to land your provokes? Actually, goes for the Han once again.
There's a lot of immunity there on the side of Malignant right now. Skill 2, he's gone for it anyway to get those some heal blocks in.
Yes, aiming for that heal block did manage to land the heal blocks, but in the end, the armor break on the Ciara would have been very nice to be there as well. Han is most likely gonna take itself out by getting in for a skill right now, but in the process will still take a lot of damage from this Josephine. So let's see, we have the Josephine and the Mi Ying, both of them kind of countering the Gianna, but they have to start doing it very right now because we also have that pony moving.
Yeah, you're going to have to deal in that damage. Right now, there's just a prevention of Gianna taking a skill 3 in this game, and a resistance on that bomb right now is not going to be looking good for Malignant.
Absolutely not looking good. Also an interesting choice to go for a skill 1 on a Josephine and potentially get countered and stunned, but that apparently did not work out, and it's once again just going for the counters once again. But it does have the pony for some cleanses. Also, we did manage to see that the Sekhmet, in its own response, did not manage to land her skills.
No, he didn't. That Mi Ying tumbling a little bit more damage into that Ciara right now. But Josephine likely to go down if he decides to detonate that bomb.
Well, you can also just simply wait for the turn and let the bomb detonate by itself. There's no real need to hurry up the bomb, because in that case, you would also get the counter hit from the Mi Ying itself, which is still a lot of damage. But the big question is, can we trade the Josephine for the Ciara? And then how much can the Mi Ying do in a later fight?
Yeah, it's going to be up to Mi Ying in the end of there. Getting that additional turn, it's going to help to land another bomb right there onto that Mi Ying.
Once again, Mi Ying getting a little bit of bombs in as well, and doesn't have the skill 2 right now to cleanse off that bomb. Can the additional damage artifacts can actually take out that Ciara. So in this case, we're gonna have to fight. Oh, and this Gianna is taking a lot of additional turns. However, if that first bomb explodes, it will cleanse off the other, but it might do enough damage already. Where, let's see, oh, that's a lot of damage. It's living with a sliver of health, but that it's taken out by that Gianna right now.
Exactly, and Sekhmet now against the Gianna and this light unicorn. It's not going to be looking good landing that bomb, and Malignant takes that first set win against Slay there. Say, I mean, it's a little bit of a throwback to, I think, when you were playing there. We've got a lot of oracles on the field.
Definitely a lot of oracles. That's absolutely true, and it's still really nice to see that they still perform very well. But personally, I still prefer them back in the days where they were crit rate 4 and just cycling so many turns on that skill 1 damage. Currently, it's more about the bomb damage.
Exactly. Stop living in the past there, Say. We've been there. We've done that. We're in the new form now. We've got a Mi Ying as a pre-ban. There's big respect there, and Yon Hong as well.
Yeah, definitely a great respect. And the Mi Ying was the unit that almost got it back. The only thing is, like, in the end, a bomb is ignored defense. And then the passive of the Mi Ying also doesn't work itself. So that unit is not that strong against bombs, but it is very strong against Gianna. So we have Oliver this time around on the side of Malignant. Slay, what is your response if you don't have that Oliver?
They've decided to trade first picks then going into this round right now. We've got Ciara, and we're going to get that Jongnam as well. I mean, when I was here in week 1, Say, he was doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was actually interesting to see in week 1, it was all about the Jongnams. In week 2 and week 3, we haven't seen that many Jongnams altogether, whereas currently it's still number 3 most picked unit in the game. And for the normal elemental units, also by far the highest win rate, with sitting like a 52 win rate in G3. So it's definitely a unit to be feared and a unit to be picked up. We also have that once again paired with a Sekhmet, which is currently number 2 most picked.
Wow, look at this. You know that like the back of your hand there. Sekhmet coming out. There's a Laura, though, on the other side of the field. We're going to see some Mei Hu Wang action as well.
Yeah, definitely some Mei Hu Wang. It's actually one of those units that's kind of slightly drifting out of meta, where it's not doing as much monkey business as we would have liked to call it last year in the leagues or last year in SWC. Also, Juno being picked up to probably counter all of those buffs, but in that case, maybe have to ban out that Hey Gang. But on the other side, that's Juno is the only buffer on, or the only stripper on that side, which might be banned in its respect.
Yeah, we're getting 3 more oracles out on the field as well. They say it's again a throwback. Let's see if they actually survive here into from the ban phase into the matchup right now. Laura's been banned out, and we've had a Sekhmet ban there as well. So we're going to be taking the different speed leads going into our set 2. It's our Summoners War European League match 1, set 2 between Malignant and Slay. Can Slay regain a point for that leaderboard spot?
Well, let's see. We have a Hey Gang actually moving first. Normally, in the current state of Gianna, you would rather see a Gianna move first than a Hey Gang. Because right now, you have an 85% chance to stun, whereas otherwise you have a 100% chance to stun the moment that you do strip. So, in this case, we do see it on the Jongnam not being activated. Question is right now, skill 2 doesn't really make too much sense, because the Hey Gang is moving right after. And, yep, in the end, we still have that Oliver pushing back the Jongnam right here.
Ooh, resisted there, though. So it is going to allow Velajul to put up that skill 3, get some immunity. Can you land your defense break as well? Does get it on that Monkey.
Does get it on the Monkey, but let's see if Monkey is back for some monkey business right now. Skill 2 into a skill 1, remove that defense break. It's not going to work this time.
It's not. You've got some nice healing there, though, through that. Bomb is ready from Gianna. Going back on that Mei Hu Wang, seeing that that's where a lot of damage is going to come out at the end of this match.
Yep, absolutely. But we also have to look at the Gianna. It's going to cycle out of immunity pretty fast. And if Sierra gets a right time in for that bomb herself, she might actually take out the Gianna in response. So in this case, the Sierra was just a little bit too fast, and therefore we're just going in for some skill ones, which actually did proper damage.
Yeah, good amount of damage. Skill 1's coming there. That's going to help, though, to get that additional turn. You can look to land another bomb, maybe on a different unit. It could be enough already to take out that Mei Hu Wang.
Yep, it's definitely already enough. Plus, we can go in once again for a round of stuns. Did this time get the stun on the Jongnam, which is a very good timing. We do have that Sierra getting a turn in right now, but most likely it's going to get reset by this Oliver.
Yeah, taken down there. Now we can land another defense break right now. Malignant is in the driving seat right now, Say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just all eyes on that Juno for Slay to actually get back into this match. And there's just too much HP with also this Velajul giving a little bit of chip healing time and time again. And at some point, Juno can definitely solo a few units. But the big issue is if there's no debuffs on the enemy side and all of those skill ones do not provide a debuff, Juno's not going to perform that solo.
No, she's not, and now skill 1 can look to take out the Ciara. Instead, Slay does concede there, and Malignant takes it 2-0 in the first match of today, Say. That's exactly why he came here for these matches, and he's going to be jumping very high on that leaderboard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the players that are playing today, he was already at the top, so he definitely is just performing that once again very well. And he's going to be checking in if he can actually maybe be the first one to lock in a 6-point victory in a day. Let's see if he can make it work.
Exactly, 6 points is crazy. If you manage to get that, you're going to be jumping very high at the current state of the season right now. Maybe later on it's not as much of a difference, but right now in the middle of the season, it's going to give him a lot of confidence going into there. For Slay, you were speaking about it before. He, had a good chance in that match, but he just didn't quite come off right. It was just very, I'd say, methodical almost from Malignant. He managed to make sure that everything was kind of controlled, getting the turns in, good damage coming out from those oracles. He's been watching you, obviously.
Well, he does have a few extra units as well, which definitely does help out a lot. For example, that Yeon Hong, and there's a few more to his box, and that's definitely some of those things that work out very well. But the reason that he is over there and I am sitting over here is because he did it better, and that's why he got double victory right now.
There you go, and you can see it in front of you. That is the confirmation right now. Malignant starting off today with a 2-0 against Slay. Perfect start. How is Slay going to look to respond in his later matches where he's facing up against people like Charge and Merle as well? And speaking about Merle, she's going to be in our next match, say Merle versus Unarmed right there. This is going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see because Merle is the only one that's currently sitting on 1 point, whereas all of the other players at least have, I think, 3 points or more. So Merle is the one that has to do most of the catching up today. Last time around was playing a lot of the same things. She does have that Laura. She does like to go for the Feng Yang, the Juno, but mostly it's paired with the Shizuka, and then it's pretty much predicting her whole draft already. And that's a little bit an issue as well. If your draft is always too much of the same and people are actually studying your draft, then it might be not working out that well. So let's see if she actually switched up things today and maybe have like a good working comp with that.
Let's find out. Why did Merle turn up to the arena unarmed? Because Laura. Yeah, that's the whole joke. Okay. Going into this matchup right now, we've got Merle versus Unarmed. Laura has been pre-banned. We've also got a Nasha there being pre-banned out, say.
Yeah, definitely two respected LDs, and that's most of the time what we see in that first match. First match they play, they just go for the signature LD of the opponent. In the second match, they pretty much pre-ban whatever they lost to in the previous match. That's most of the time what we see in these pre-bans. So Merle in this case around still locking in that Juno first, but I would say Juno is a great unit, but it's definitely more of a 4 or 5 slot, sometimes a 2 or 3, but definitely not really a first pick. So I think Unarmed can just go play whatever he normally likes to play, and Miles, going into Miles Raccoon later, is definitely very strong into the things that Merle likes to play.
Exactly. A lot of damage can come out over time there from that Miles. We're seeing again then, this is consistent to Merle's draft in the previous week.
Yep, absolutely. So let's see what Unarmed has prepared against that. You definitely do want to reset that Viva Gel, or you just want to ban it out, because it is always that dangerous unit if you have that third skill coming in. Switching the attack bar and the HP bar could be at a wrong moment, and therefore just completely doesn't work out. What also works very well against the draft is just a simple Vertiheal. So if you go Vertiheal Raccoon right now, you do still have a decent amount of damage, but actually goes for an Adriana. And do we go for some more slime?
Cool.
That is the Light Ezio, also known as Ian, which does have Ignore Defense on the skill 3, does also still have the Resistance Awakening, so it's a little bit hard to build. But besides that, it does do a good amount of damage and it ignores passives.
Wow, Ian coming out onto the field. Merle deciding to respond with another Oracle. I think we've seen nearly every Oracle today. There's just Lima left on the field for us to see. But Praha coming in there, again, following kind of that similar draft that we're kind of renowned with Merle right now. And the Abelio.
Abelio is definitely an interesting one right there, because if you finish this draft with a Sonya and your Adriana moves in front, you can definitely take something out. Plus, this Ian will definitely take out that Abelio, because in the end, Ian doesn't care about the Abelio passive, so definitely a good Sonya right there, and this is going to be a difficult draft for Merle, I think.
Yeah, exactly. We're sniping on the side of Unarmed right there with that Ian, with that Sonya. Maybe looking to have to ban that Adriana with all the buffs that are coming along.
Yeah, I think banning the Adriana is probably the best, and then hoping that the units without attack buff don't deal enough damage to actually insta-kill something. That is, I think, the only hope that Merle can go for. On the other side, I think you're kind of free to ban whatever you would like to ban. Maybe that Feng Yang. No, actually goes for the Juno.
Going for Juno, and we've got the Adriana banned out, so we've got the speed lead from Unarmed, the HP lead from the side of Merle right now. We're here, our Summoners War European League, match 2, set 1 between Merle and Unarmed. Are we going to see some sniped out units?
Yeah, it's going to be the question, because Ian is the perfect target to snipe out something first, but that one is not going to be moving first at all. Can we take out this Vivachel right away on this skill too? Or would it be a Sonya trap? Because that's also definitely a thing. The Feng Yang and the Abelio, you cannot snipe those. The Praha could be an option. Take it out with a good 60k damage. That's a lot of damage rocking in right there.
That is a lot, and it's going to proc out the Abelio there, but no need to use that skill 3. The other units are looking healthy, but there's going to be an Ian shot coming in very soon.
Yeah, now the big question, is this Vanessa on enough chip damage? Are you going to be able to take out that Feng Yang, or are you going to go for that Abelio? That's the big question. He's going to go for the Feng Yang, but that Feng Yang is very tanky. And as mentioned, the resistance lead is making where Ian is very hard to rune. Doesn't do that much damage.
And managing to take out that Vanessa right there. So that's a big additional turn there for Miles, so you can look to take out that Feng Yang.
Oh, that's definitely very well working. And that's actually what Ian did do very well in his kit. It did actually bring it below the Abelio passive. And since the Ian skill 3 does ignore the Abelio passive, Abelio didn't take a turn where you normally would have liked to see it take a turn. And now you have a counter on the Sonya, which just looks very dangerous.
Yeah, there's so much damage coming in still from that side, and Miles is only going to be getting more. Right now, Ian, it's kind of a matter of time for Merle on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another guard crush. Actually, good choice. Was a defense trap on that Vivachel, so the Praha was killable. But that Vivachel was not killable by Sonya in the first turn.
Are we going to be able to bruise this out, sir?
I kind of doubt it, because in the end, we still have a threat state. We can take that threat state away. If you take away the Ian, oh, that sleep is definitely working very well. The big question is, Ian, how much tankiness are you in? That's still enough to survive, but that additional turn back to back, oh, it's making it very close.
Very, very close right now, but Sonya needs to just keep doing more chip damage. You can look to kill that Ian right now. It's up to Abelio and Vivachel here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only thing that's actually doing proper damage right now is that, well, unit that just got stunned. It is the Miles. But at some point, we have attack going up and HP going down. So there's no defense going down, but attack going up might make it that at a later state, the Sonya can go for the ignored defense. I think currently, you probably still want to hold it off. Oh, actually was the right timing already.
There you go. He managed to snipe out there that Vivachel. And Abelio versus these two units is going to be a very hard battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've ever seen an Abelio win against the Sonya 1v1. That seems near impossible. You keep glancing it because you're the wrong element. The moment you glance it, you give more attack bar to the Sonya. Sure, the skill 2 is not really going to work. Also, the Miles just like tumbling in a lot of damage every time. But at some point, the moment that you have 30% attack up, most likely you can already start sniping an Abelio as well.
Exactly, and right now there, Merle does concede on that one right now. Unarmed taking out that first set there, say. So there was some plan there from Merle, but it was the wrong unit that got sniped out for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the difficult thing. Like, in the end, if you have, like, let's say, a very simple scenario, 3 fire units and 1 water unit, the Sonya is definitely going to go for that 1 water unit. And you can make sure it's like, okay, that is my 1 unit as a trap. But if you have 1 unit as a trap and 1 unit not as a trap, then it's kind of the gamble. Because in the end, Praha does need a lot of stats. And it is more difficult to make as a Sonya trap. So definitely well read by Unarmed over there. But also that Adriana in there with all of the units that he likes to use, that Narsha and everything, he's definitely going to be looking at taking first turn, whereas Merle is taking a turn 2 approach without too many passives. And without too many passives, playing turn 2 is always very difficult.
Definitely is. We can see there Miles getting that pre-ban, and we've got the Vivachel as well, a real core part there of Merle's kind of attack here, let's say. But Unarmed right now has freedom again, like you were saying, to go for that turn 1. Are you going to get in a speed lead already?
I definitely would go for Vanessa. That's one of those things, like, yes, you can play what the enemy likes to play, but they mostly play it better, and they mostly also play better against it. So I'm not too sure if that is the right play. Sure, in the end, Juno is pretty decent into a Laura, but I'm not really sure if Unarmed wants to go for a Bruiser setup with that Juno that much.
Exactly, because we're seeing Laura, we're seeing Feng Yan again coming out from Merle. Unarmed right now changed it up massively in that first pick. Are we going to continue? Are we just going to have a Bruiser match?
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing right now. And he's also definitely taking his time, whereas he could 100% expect those 2 picks from Merle. But him taking his time right there already makes it like, wait, I kind of made an uncomfortable move. And therefore, I'm not too sure. Because if he just went for a Vanessa, Adriana, Narsha in there instead of the Miles, he could run back the draft of last time. And I think he would be pretty fine, because Merle doesn't seem to be switching up her draft all too much. But in this case, let's see what she would go for.
Exactly. We've got the Chandra and the Cigar, then the mighty duo from the previous kind of balance patch, let's say. They're out on the field for Unarmed. And this time, what? We're getting a response with an Ian.
That is very strange, and that's definitely something for Merle switching things up. I respect that. But is it the right moment? I'm not really sure, because in the end, most of the time, you want it to be either very faster than your enemy. Currently, you're only looking at 1 speed lead, whereas your enemy is potentially locking in a second right now. But also the units on the side of Unarmed, I assume they are faster than the units on the side of Merle, except for that Laura. Maybe that more is on a Swift build. Let's see.
Yeah, we've got their Jongnam coming into the field as well for Unarmed. Maybe a last pick in case he needs to bruise it a little bit out. Merle right now probably needs that speed lead.
Yeah, I would say something like a Vanessa or something like an Oliver would definitely do well, but this Busa looks like that you're going to be banning out that Cigar, but let's see if that's going to do enough.
Exactly. Let's see if there's another response from another match with an Ian. There is. Laura being banned out and that Cigar being banned out, so likely to take the speed leads. But in all honesty, Merle might change it up and go for something crazy.
No, I do think we go for speed leads, but the big question right now is how fast are those Moore and Ians in comparison to the units of Unarmed? So let's see.
Here we are, match 2, set 2 between Merle and Unarmed. We're very fast there, managing to put up the shields and the immunity.
Okay, this definitely does look like an Ian that is on a Nemesis kind of build. So you do want to strip it, but you do have to be careful with at what moment do you go for the strip. Because if you go for skill 1 right now, you might just take too much damage on it and then it starts taking turns.
Ooh, more coming in right there. And now you can look to strip, but like you were saying, are you wanting to give it a turn?
Yeah, this is definitely the position you have to do it, because it is enough. But in this case, do you go for the double down on that skill 3? Because the moment you miss your skill 3, it is definitely moving. So I would just skill 1 somewhere else.
Gone for the skill 3, gets that stun there right now. Feng Yen does have 2 skills available. Going for that damage on the CR, it's not enough right now.
It is not enough, but this is also the position. I think I would just bomb that Feng Yang. Yeah, definitely bomb on that Feng Yang. Because most likely that Ian, well, it's impossible for that Ian to be on both a Will, a Nemesis, and a Vio set, so it's safe over there. And you can already have good chip damage into that Feng Yang. But actually that Wusa in that response is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, he did a lot of healing there on the side for Ian as well right now. But Chandra's skill 1 is available. Are you looking to just try and maybe get a stun out?
Yeah, that's the question, because if you hit it right now, you actually boosted it up, and this is going to be enough. But can you take out that Juno? It's actually a lot more tanky, so for that reason, I don't expect super high damage from this. But if you hit a good 30k on the Juno, 39k is actually taking out that Juno.
Yeah, we've traded 1 for 1 right now, and it could be 2-1 on the side of Merle if Moore can look to complete it. He does.
He definitely does, but can we go for a 2 for 2 on the side of that Feng Yang? There's 3 dots on it, skill 1. Not enough, and an additional turn. Ooh, that's still some healing rocking in onto that Feng Yang.
Yeah, can you look even to get sleep right now? Does get it as well. Skill 2 available, pushing back.
I'm not too sure about that skill 2, because if you didn't stun it, you would have probably lost your... Ooh, that additional turn. Big question, Feng Yang, can we stun those? We do not stun the Feng Yang, though.
We don't, and now we can tumble in way more damage right now. Oh, but we didn't get any additional turn from that Wusa Swift.
Yep, so it's definitely an interesting one, and that Feng Yang is just showing so much HP. It's not even that the Feng Yang is super high on defense. It's very high on the HP, and it's very hard to kill, and this is exactly what I mentioned during the draft. Unarmed is trying to play the playstyle of your opponent, whereas most likely it's just better to counter that playstyle, because they know how to play against it as well.
Exactly, and if you're going for that skill 3, Moore I think has the passive, and it's not enough to kill that Feng Yang. You can get some shields, get some immunity.
Yeah, the moment you go for that immunity right now, I think there's no way of the enemy ever taking any more damage on that Feng Yang, because those shields are pretty massive, plus the Feng Yang has damage reduction the moment that your enemy has lower defense than you, and even the Chandra hasn't been showing that much of damage, so maybe it's a full tanky Chandra right there.
Could be, and this skill 2 damage, 7, nearly 8k coming out right now. More, a good stun as well.
Yeah, once again, a very good stun, and this is where you just tumble down more and more damage. And this skill 2, also as mentioned before, it's not even breaking the shield.
No, not breaking it, and now it can be taken out. And it's not looking good for Unarmed right now. Merle managing to come back then, getting that 1 extra set for her on that leaderboard, taking her up to 2. But I think that's a tale of play what you know, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And it's also the moment that you saw that Juno being locked in. He locked it in pretty fast, but then the slot 2 and the slot 3 of Unarmed was filled very slowly. And what you can read from that as a viewer or as a caster is that people are not comfortable with their draft. And what you see, for example, with some other players that we see later today, a PinkRoid, he slaps in all of his units super fast. He's comfortable. He knows his matchup. He has seen this a million times. He knows where those things are, and he goes for that very fast. And the moment that you see someone more hesitant, there are some players that actually do like to play like all the way, think all the way through to the end of the time, because in the end you can. But most of the time, it does represents like, ooh, I'm not really sure what I'm doing right here. And the moment you already have that with a slot 2 and slot 3, you're kind of on the back foot.
Definitely are, and I think it's all about confidence as well, right? If you're confident in your units, you can pick them and select them early. I think we always used to say muscle memory with someone like a PinkRoid right there. With Unarmed, it was a little bit nervous. Maybe his arms weren't working on the pick 2 and pick 3, could be. But Merle managing to come back and get that extra point. It's going to be huge for her on that leaderboard, and we'll get the confirmation coming up right on screen now to see how it looks from today's matches. Merle won, Unarmed won as well there. Huge point for her right now on that leaderboard. But looking forward into that next match, say, Charge versus PinkRoid.
Yeah, absolutely two very strong players playing against one another. On Charge, we have the side of Silver, one of those upcoming units that was actually utilized most last year in SWC by Lest. And it's one of those units that a lot of people like to pick up right now as a first pick because it's just so versatile. It's a 33 lead with immunity, with pushbacks, with the suppress skill, and also with the irresistible skill. So there's just a lot of it going on. On the other side, we have PinkRoid, and well, he needs no introduction. He won it last year, and he definitely is here to win again. Once again, he's very high on the leaderboards. But let's see what he can do, because Julian actually found another counter here, and that's actually been made popular by Obabo over the last few days, which is that Fire Twins Angel.
Exactly. And actually, Charge was saying before PinkRoid, his inspiration, he's facing off against his inspiration. Will he inspire or get caught in the crossfire and simply expire? Damn. I think I might need to retire. Let's get into this matchup. Charge versus PinkRoid. We've got Hairgang pre-banned and that Silver. And again, like we were saying, quick Oliver slammed right in.
Yep, but also on the other side, Charge plays a lot of matches as well. Also, quick response, Vanessa plus the Jungdam. Mostly a combination you don't see too often. Jungdam is often paired with an Oliver or a Twin Angels. But then again, it works well with everything. And I think it's also one of those units that's maybe more of a steal, rather than like, I want to be playing with this, because a Oliver Jungdam combination is very strong.
Definitely is, but we've got two Sky Surfers coming out there then. It's going to be the Miles with that Velojoule as well. We saw how much damage in that previous match Miles were doing. Oh, changing it out for a Raccoony there last second.
A good old Raccoony Miles. It's one of those things that has been there for a long time and has been strong for a very long time as well. Let's see how Charge wants to deal with it. Once again, we see a Vivachel. A Vivachel is always, like as mentioned before, that dangerous unit, except when it is reset by an Oliver. So the counter to the Vivachel is already on the field. So do you actually want to lock it in? And what is going to be your fourth pick with that?
Yeah, you've got into that fourth pick again. Another player deciding to use the whole time and going then for that Leo. Big counter towards that Miles.
Yeah, definitely a good counter on that Miles, and it's also a good pair with that Vivachel, but it might also be a little bit of an awkward thing. Is that going to be a Vampire Leo, which is the best pair for a Vivachel? But then again, a Violent Leo, in most cases, is a lot stronger. Or do you have two? Could be something like that. PinkRoid, are you going to be looking at Leo counters right now, or are you going to look in units where we say, okay, Leo is going to get banned? And it's actually going a bit of both with a Giyu and a Dominic.
Yeah, big damage coming in there. If you've got that Dominic, maybe there's some Leo counters going into that one right now. Charge has that last pick. Do you think he's expecting a Leo ban, or?
Well, I'm not too sure. You could definitely be thinking of something where you can ban that Raccoony and you go for a Rika or something. But in this case, Raccoony is still banned. But PinkRoid was having more fear against a Vivachel than the last pick for Charge.
Yeah, Volantis not in the frame of mind for PinkRoid, that right there. We've got that band coming out then, the Vivachel and the Raccoony. Likely to take some sort of HP lead, or let's see exactly which one they're going to be choosing into this matchup. It's a killer match to start off with our match 3 of today right now. We've got the speed leads of both sides actually coming in then right now in our Summoners War European League. Match 3, set 1 between Charge and PinkRoid. Let's see if it's going to be damage or violent.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see where both players still went for the speed lead. So, well, it's definitely violent. We got that answered right there. But the big question is, if you go for skill 2 right now, nope, you don't want to do it simply because at that point the Gyu would have taken a turn and actually does manage to land very well on that. And also, with that glancing, did not manage to land on the Jongnam.
Exactly. Are you just going to be looking to pile in some damage here right now? No, going for that skill 3, getting some good stuns and that additional turn to get some damage in.
Yeah, definitely some good damage. And the main target that you want to be focusing is you want to make sure that Oliver doesn't take good turns, but you want to be piling in the damage on that Dominic. Because the Dominic, the moment it's below 50% HP, it loses its passive for extra damage on all of his skills. And that's the moment where Dominic starts healing himself rather than doing a lot of damage. And that is absolutely a lowering of damage right there, because that's why you see Dominic do damage and you're like, wait, this unit was good back in the days, right? But nowadays, it doesn't feel like that much damage.
Didn't get a cool time there from the Vanessa. Can you look to set up a defense break, which he does right now, but is that Dominic going to be taking a turn?
Oh, Dominic is gonna take the turn right after this one. We do get a stun first, but skill 2 on an armor break. Might this be a Leo trap kind of style Dominic on very high stats, and where you're gonna aim that skill 2? Actually decides to go somewhere else, but as mentioned, not that much damage because it was below 50% HP.
Exactly, and right now he can get some more turn cycling coming in from that Gyu. Oliver's getting ready to turn up as well. Maybe he can start to control a little bit more for PinkRoid. That's going to help.
That is definitely going to help. And Gyu is one of those interesting units. It does more damage the moment that the suppression debuff is already on the enemy. Then it starts doing damage by enemy max HP. And that's a good scaling one right there. It's a little bit difficult to pull off, to have it on and the armor break as well. But it is very good damage. And therefore people like to go for Gyu on crit rate nowadays.
Exactly, skill 2 coming in there from the Oliver, putting that cool time into the Leo, huge. And that additional turn can now control that Jongnam as well. He's not going to be taking a turn soon. Is it enough? Oh.
Ooh, it's not enough, but that double dot will definitely make it enough. But the big question is, if that Leo gets out of the battlefield before they, well, definitely, like we used to say, Oliver is doing a lot of Oliver things. And it is, so right now, we do have the Miles on full speed. And this might be the opener where the Oliver just did way too much. Had the perfect rotation in for resetting the Vanessa, being able to kill out another unit. And it's just working out very well suddenly for PinkRoid.
Exactly, he has some damage that he can pile in. Going in for the Vanessa, that additional turn is huge though. Trying to take it out because he knows the revive could be coming soon.
Yeah, the revive is definitely coming, but in this case, Jongnam has to be showing a little bit of what those other units on the enemy side are doing, which is taking those additional turns, but he can't take it out, and there's no freeze on the Jongnam.
Oh, that's going to be helpful for PinkRoid right now. Gets the cool time as well.
In this case, skill 2 would definitely kill, but is that going to be where you want to place your skill 2 at this moment? Because in the end, Charge is definitely sitting on the back foot with, you could revive something, brings back the Leah, so that lowers the damage of that Miles again, but Gyu has something to say about that.
Gyu came and conquered right there for PinkRoid, but there's a big resistance, but Oliver is doing Oliver things.
Well, I think Oliver is doing Oliver things deluxe, and same for the Miles, because I'm not sure how many additional turns we've seen over there, but I think PinkRoid in that match, in a short span of 10 rounds, probably had like 7.
Yeah, PinkRoid coming in clutch then. He was also on one of those people with 4 points right here coming into these round of matches, taking that first set against Charge right there. He kind of waited for the opening and then got involved against Charge. How can Charge turn that around?
Yeah, it's definitely be thinking about, okay, what can he do if he gets into that Oliver again? Or maybe do you want to go for an Oliver steal? Because in the end, PinkRoid does mainly play with Oliver. The issue is, however, if PinkRoid doesn't have the Oliver, he's just very fine to also switch to a Chandra kind of style. Charge is going to have that silver this time around, which is definitely one of those units that he really does like to play with. So let's see if he can maybe utilize that and get his victory that way.
Let's find out. Thinking a little bit longer right now for this pre-ban. Maybe some respects bans coming in right now. What are the mind games that these guys are going through right now? You know that you're going to be facing off against Silver, but there is going to be a hair gang out on the field if you need it there. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, really good first match, to be honest, from these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to the days that we had in 2022 where we see pre-bans on Oliver. We got a little bit of a pause at the moment, but if we're talking pre-bans, I wouldn't be surprised to still see an Oliver pre-ban, because if you have Silver for that 33 lead, the only 33 lead that your enemy can pick is going to be that Vanessa. So if you for that reason already expect a full Vanessa draft, it is definitely an option right there. However, is that going to be something that you do want to face with a Silver? in my opinion, I think that might be a nice way, because the moment you have 33, the enemy doesn't have a 33 or not a 33 that they're that comfortable with, you're already slightly on the upper hand in the draft.
Exactly. I mean, is it crazy to say you could try and do the Samath as well? The only other 33 out there, but it's pretty wild to be going into the silver.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's that much of a commonly used unit. Personally, something that I like to call the tech math on a super high damage build. It is nice from time to time, but it's definitely only going to be used the moment that your enemy is going for a full damage comp. And I think both of the players that we see over here like their bruiser style. They like the Jungnam in there. They also like to find their Ashurs in there if they're needed. And there's always some kind of bruise from both sides with either a Valid Jewel, something too tanky, or just something going on. And seems to be that we're going back, and let's see what these two gentlemen can find for the pre-bans.
Exactly, and maybe explains why it took a bit longer on that pre-ban with getting the Tianlang coming out then, and that Viva Chell as well. Is Charge going to look to steal?
Well, that's the big question, because on the leaderboards, like normal RTA matches, you definitely want to be playing a silver first pick because it's just very versatile. However, if you go for it right here, right away, then it might be not that good, because it is, well, it becomes a little bit more predictable, and it's not necessarily a steal. In this case, for that reason, we do see the Oliver other side, fast lock in with the Jongnam and the segment.
Wow, changing it up then, Charge, and coming in with that Achroma and the Juno right there. We've seen how much damage Achromas have been doing recently. PinkRoid doing PinkRoid things right there if that comes out on the field.
Well, to be honest, it's not that bad, because Achroma is not that great into additional damage artifacts, and in the end, Oliver is not that great into a Antares as well, but he does decide to take it away. And once again, as mentioned, he likes to go for his bruise setup, so it's a little bit more versatile. We have the Valid and that Sierra being locked in.
Exactly, locking in a speed lead. What is? I think that's a troll. No.
Yeah, most likely, because Minato into a Sierra is not the greatest with the bomb. And Antares into Sierra also, once again, same with the Jungnam. Those are not really the greatest of options. So let's see what he actually does like to go for. Because if he were to lock that in, you would also be without any strips if the Juno was banned.
And we're seeing there was a strip potential there with that Volantis. Instead, we're getting then a Vanessa, another 33 with that Miles.
Definitely a kind of a weird draft on the side of Charge, I would feel, because it doesn't really go into what direction he actually wants to go, because the Juno and the Miles, it's not a combination that works out all too well, especially with that Vanessa late pick as well. And there's not too much sustain, which PinkRoid is actually reading very well by picking in a bruiser that's not used that much, but it's going to be very good if it's longer on the battlefield.
Exactly, Suiki coming out then right now for PinkRoid right there. Are you going to have to respect that as a ban?
I'm not too sure. On the other side, I would say that the Sierra might be very deadly as well. Plus, that's the only speed lead, so you might take that out. But then the question is that segment going to be fast enough? No, he actually does respect the Suiki.
Suiki out. Miles is also out right now. Speed leads for both of our guys, Charge and PinkRoid. It's our Summoners War European League, match 3, set 2 between Charge and PinkRoid. Can Charge regain a point against PinkRoid right now? Sekhmet, are you going to land?
Segment has to land. Definitely wants to go for the Oliver because the cooldowns on the Vanessa are pretty short. Actually does go for the Vanessa, so we don't have a strip on the skill 2 coming in right away. Was well read that the Oliver is moving in front of the Juno. If the Juno was a little bit faster, Oliver might have been able to do something. But the only thing Oliver does right now is something that is disappointing you, which is taking a turn extra into full immunity.
Exactly. Wrong moment to take that extra turn, and with the Jongnam as well, getting so much damage, leaving that branding on the Vanessa. And he's just piling in damage there onto the Ciara.
Yeah, but everything is taking turns at the wrong moment. But that actually works very well. That Juno came here to win, because the moment that Valid wasn't controlled, there would be a lot of immunity coming on the side of PinkRoid. And this might be the slight opener, but I'm still not really seeing it. Especially not with that additional turn into a Sanctuary.
He got that nice turn right now, and look, you can land those defense breaks around and more damage coming in right now. Maybe even look to complete on the Oliver. Not yet.
Not yet, but I think this is a very free match for PinkRoid right now, because he has the healing from the Valid, he has the healing from the Jongnam. In the end, the only healing that's on the enemy side is the Juno, but there's a double heal block on your enemy as well. So just simply taking out that Vanessa first, I think he's definitely in the driver's seat right here.
He definitely is. Can look to land a defense break on that Vanessa, try and get her out. Resisted right now, but even skill 1, is it enough? Not quite.
No, definitely not enough. The skill 1 doesn't do that much damage of the Jongnam. But in the end, there's still more than enough turns where he can actually make it work. Nice reset on that Juno, so the moment that Sanctuary comes out once again, it's not really going to do too much. But yeah, there's just so many units with very much a lot of life on the side of PinkRoid right now, and I don't think that Charge can take out all of those.
No, he can't, 'cause he's just lost 2 units back to back there right now. And it's going to be up to Juno to see if she can kind of get away with this. Acroma needs to be dealing damage. Can you get a rebound?
Yeah, that is where you get the bounce, but the bounce doesn't do enough. If there was no immunity on that Volatile, you definitely could have had a decent shot at it. But one of the biggest counters against Acroma is just that immunity being there time and time again. Because Acroma wants to work from a defense break, that's why she does do a lot of damage. That's why she can land the silence, that's why she can land the glancing. But if none of those things actually happen, she's not having a good day.
Oh, getting some revenges right now, but he's just piling in the damage, maybe? Oh...
There's too much healing from this Jungnam. Actually decides not to go for the healing as of yet. You could probably take out this Veladjul right now, but I have seen Juno win against a Jungnam and a Sekhmet together, but it is very rough. It is not an easy matchup. Plus you first have to do 2 more skills on that Veladjul to get anywhere.
Exactly. No need to use any skill 2 from Sekhmet right now, because the cycling is going to come through. Can you get some big stuns?
Ooh, it does get 1 stun, but you'd rather have seen the stun on the other one. You do get a branding over there, but that is just too little healing to work with.
Definitely is, and Jungna is going to be taking some more turns. Is this going to be even enough with that skill 2? It is, and PinkRoid takes that 2nd set to extend the lead and take the win in this match here, say. PinkRoid 2, Charge 0. PinkRoid is back to his best.
Yeah, absolutely very well played by PinkRoid right there. And what I would say in a not necessarily previous season, but even like slightly earlier on the meta that we had with the Sibala, Dark Robos, Oliver kind of style, Acroma was really strong. But the moment that it's going more towards a lot of immunity comps right now with the Veladjul, with the Jungnam, with Sekhmets in there, Acroma kind of lost its charm where it's doing very good. Because as mentioned before, the moment that the Acroma is fighting the immunity, you're gonna have a pretty bad day. And that's also where the final pick of Charge looked a little bit weird with that Vanessa coming in. If there was another passive unit such as a Rakuni or an Angela or anything that would help out the other 3 units already on the field, I think he would have had a better draft than just locking in another speed lead.
Exactly, sustain throughout. Things are constantly changing. You've got to be able to adapt even in ladder. But when you get to these situations right now, there is pre-bans. These are best of 2s as well. You have to be reactive to what your opponent is doing right there. And that muscle memory coming in clutch for PinkRoid. Getting some pretty damn good additional turns as well throughout, if we really want to speak honestly as well there. And you can see this now in our matches from today. PinkRoid taking it 2-0 against Charge. Some good matches. I mean, it looks really beautiful to see there, say 2-0, 1-1, 0-2. It's all balanced.
Yeah, let's see if we can create a pattern on the... Well, or maybe we have a repeat of the pattern. That could be a thing. We haven't had any day so far where we had a full repeat of the pattern so far. So let's see if we can maybe do that. Because looking at the matches, maybe not really, but it is always something that is possible.
We can always hope. That's why we're here. That's why we're playing Summoners War. And those were our first 3 matches. Don't be going anywhere. We've still got another 6 matches from all of our contestants for today. And we're going to see how it ends up with that leaderboard and the points where they're going to go. Any match that you're really looking forward to in the next round?
Well, Slay hasn't shown his LD5 yet that he pulled new, so definitely looking forward to seeing that one.
Exactly. More LDs. We want shiny things. Shiny fireworks. And don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll see you back. and welcome back to the Summoners War European League 2025. I hope you enjoyed your little short break there. Me and Sadie, we were chatting a little bit about those matches that have just happened so far from today. If you're only just joining us now, where have you been? 8 o'clock. How have you not remembered that? We say it every single week, even though I wasn't here the past 2 weeks. Other people have said that for me. So make sure you're always here at 8 o'clock to meet those first matches that are happening. We've already had 3, say, but 6 more to come. And again, some really ferocious matches are coming our way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always nice to see Malignant just going off with all of those LDs. It always works so well. If it works, it's also one of those things we have seen it in previous weeks. I think it was in week 2. The Laura didn't connect her strips. Something else just broke out and he's like, nah, not for me. Let's try again next thing. So it's definitely one of those players that likes to go in for his matches quick. Either win quick or lose quick. That's how he likes to go for it. But it's definitely always fireworks to see how that goes, right? And we have that in this time around against a cleaver kind of play. At least, well, Unarmed tried to go for his non-cleave style against the second round in Merle. Didn't really work out, so I think Unarmed is going to be going back to a cleave style. But on the other side, Malignant is also a very fast player, so let's see how that would work out right here.
Exactly. Malignant versus Unarmed. 2 Frenchies facing off against each other here as well. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure the French commentary is going to be very loud in my ear just across the hall, to be honest, for these 2 guys, because they are some stellar opponents. Who's your favorite going into it?
Well, I have to give it to Malignant. It's just more LDs, mostly higher ranked in the leaderboard, so... And there's just a lot of it that goes to his box, because besides just being a very fast player, he can also just switch to a ragdoll the moment he needed, or any of those other good turn 2 passive units that just work out very well against a cleaving comp. So let's see what he's gonna go in this pre-ban.
Why did Malignant show up to the arena unarmed? Because he was already spreading chaos without lifting a finger. Because he had none. Here we go into our match 4 between Malignant and Unarmed. We're getting the pre-bans coming out there. Vanessa and Gianna being pre-banned.
Yeah, definitely 2 good respect pre-bans. Unarmed did see the previous matches where Gianna was doing a lot of work. On the other side, Malignant did see that Vanessa is mostly a core for those bruiser kind of setups. Malignant just going for the comfortable opener with that Oliver and the Yan Hong.
Exactly, we're setting off with some speed right now. Unarmed going for a bit more of a classic meta pick right there with that Velajul. Who are you going to be looking to partner it up with and maybe carry on a bruise?
Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit more bruiser style than last time around. The Chandra, I'm not too sure about its build, because I think it is just a full tank on an HP slot 4, which we don't see that commonly anymore, because most of the time your Chandra, you want to be dealing a lot of damage as well. And that is definitely a bruiser style right there, but Malignant is like, you can bruise it all you want, then I'll go turn to 1.
Exactly, Laura coming out and that Jongnam as well. We're getting in some strips, we're getting in some damage. Cigar as well. We're going really back to the meta for Unarmed.
Yeah, absolutely. So Unarmed is trying to survive that turn 1 and then see where you can pick up the pace from there. Big question is, you're kind of hoping that the Laura is not connecting as well. In the end, Laura doesn't have a full 100% activation rate on her 3rd skill. I think it is 35% times 3, so it's definitely something that might not connect. But we're also locking in with a Vert for a lot of pacing on the match over there.
Exactly, trying to cycle as quickly as possible. He's going to have speed buffs with Laura as well if it manages to go through. Who are you looking to ban out?
I would definitely say you have to go for that Vert, because that would be too much pacing. On the other side, maybe go for that Ella or Velajul.
Even you didn't know the way that you answered it. Let's find out exactly how Malignant is going to face off here right now for that ban in our match number 4. It's going to be Vertihill, and we've got Chandra being taken out. The speed lead away from Unarmed there right now then. Speed lead and defense lead for both of our guys going into our Summoners War European League match 4, set 1 between Malignant and Unarmed. How much damage can he get off on that turn 1?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the question. We do get the strip, and that's already a lot of damage coming in. Laura, can you connect all of the skills? Does actually miss 1. And that is kind of the thing that Unarmed was waiting for, and therefore I don't really understand the Chandra ban as much, because an ally can take over a match from being resisted and then going for her way for taking the skills in. Whereas I don't think that a Chandra would have done that much, so all eyes on the ally right now. Can you take it back for Unarmed?
Yeah, but it's going to be 1 unit down there, the Velajul going down. Mei Hu Wang needs to get online. Let's get some defense breaks and some stuns around right now.
Yep, all eyes on the male wing right now, but also on the Ella, but maybe even on the Cigar. Let's see how much we can do. Skill 2, going in for that Oliver, does go in on the Oliver, is resisted on that first hit, does get the additional turn, but once again resist. Are we looking at a 100 res Oliver right there?
Maybe. I mean, he's going to be able to cycle. There is immunity up on the side right now. Resisted against that Mei Wang, so skill 2 is going to be coming soon.
There's definitely a lot of resistance back and forth, but we also have a little bit of charge vitality, just chopping off that attack bar and HP bar of that Oliver. But after this skill, there's going to be a little bit of downtime because he missed one.
Yep, and it's not enough damage right now, but that cool time doesn't allow that skill 2. Doesn't get the additional turn either right now. Laura's close to skill 3, I believe.
Yep, we're just one turn away. But also the big thing is the Beowang hasn't been able to connect any skills on that Oliver. So I definitely do think we're looking at 100 resistance. If this Cigar takes an additional turn right now, we might still flip the script. It still might actually win. But where are you going to land it? Goes for, does get the additional turn right here. And I think that Malignant is not going to be happy with this one.
No, he's not. And there's skill 2 coming right now. You can get some healing in. Can you even take out 20k on that hit?
That is a lot of damage. Wise Owl going for a little bit of more cooldown increase. And is that going to be enough where you actually get the full skills back? I'm not too familiar with that Ella, but she's giving a lot of cooldowns increase right there. And the Mei Wang might actually fully take over this match with that Ella.
Exactly, and with that different spirit, you can look to confirm a kill. Not going for it, going for the stun instead there. Big
Oh, that is definitely a misplay, and we have been talking about it on the cast many times before already. Connect your kills, actually take out a unit. It could go for sleep, it could go for an additional turn, and it could go for an AoE stun and AoE slow.
Exactly. It's Mei Wang. Are you going to confirm it now, or are you going to give it another chance? No, no more.
No more. That's one of those things that only works once a day. You're like, no, I had to take it out on the previous one. But that slow is still there. The Oliver is rocking in additional turns. There's still 2-turn cooldown right now, but you lower the cooldown the moment that you land your skills. Also, we have everything connecting on the Jongnam right now. And whereas the Cigar was working very hard for an Unarmed to win that match, Unarmed decided, I take my chances on that Laura additional turn.
Exactly, because right now, Mei Wang is still on the field right now, but against that Jongnam as well, and the control coming in from Oliver, he can't even get a turn off.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, and that slow debuff is definitely something that's rocking very hard on that Monkey right there, because the Monkey wants to take in that cycling, the Monkey wants to take in the turns, the armor break, the extra healing that comes from it. But the moment that he keeps getting reset by an Oliver, it's just very difficult.
Can even get Glance in there right now as well. Mei Wang looking for a stun right now. Maybe has to go for the Oliver. Goes in for the Yonghon instead.
Yeah, I definitely do think we have noticed it already that the Oliver is most likely very tanky and 100 resistance, whereas a Yonhong was maybe an easier target to take out. But the one unit to take out the Yonhong just got taken off the battlefield.
Exactly, Malignant there confirming that first point against Unarmed here in our match number 4 of today. He came out clutch, he went for that turn 1. There was a moment where it nearly turned, but he managed to regain focus and take out that final win. How does Unarmed prepare in this match, say?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the question if Unarmed goes for more of a turn 1 style this time around. If he goes for the Vanessa, if he goes for his fast units, he might actually be able to take it. Then again, Malignant has that Jeon Hong, which is very fast. At least the Laura's not on the field right now, but there's still an Oliver first pick.
Wow, Oliver. We've got Strain for the Chandra and the Velajul again. Unarmed going back to that old meta, but that's scary.
Yep, that's definitely scary. And so far, he drafted Chandra twice in moments where he also lost. So not sure if he's going to make that a third time, or does he have something else this time around? But now you're facing against a Gianna and a Yeonhong.
Going in then for that Achroma. Is a counter there for the Gianna right now, but who are you going to partner with? It's going for maybe more of a bruiser style into it.
Combination with that Juno, I definitely like to see that, but there's also a lot of options that Malignant still has for immunity. It's not just the Valajul that's potential for immunity. He actually finds 2 L&D immunity units right there in his box.
Exactly, always nice to have in that back pocket to be able to use in our Summoners War European League right now. Deciding whether to lock it fully in though right now. Unarmed, how's he going to respond to these?
I'm not too sure because he has a little bit of healing with the Velajul and a little bit with the Juno if it so connects well. Whereas on the other side, there's 3 pretty decent healers throughout. So I think you have to go for more single target damage because that's already the route that you're going for. But then the big question is, where can you do enough with that? Fire Monkey, definitely good single target damage.
Exactly. When he actually managed to come off 4 unarmed in that last match, it was proving useful. He just couldn't get the turns in. But maybe if he takes out an Oliver, there might not be too many turns for him.
Yeah, definitely the question right here. I would absolutely go for that light unicorn ban on the left side because the FIFA Gel, I think the FIFA Gel will fully outspeed anything on the enemy side, whereas the FIFA Gel is not going to take that much of a very strong turn that reason, at least on the turn 1. On the other side, there's a lot of options you could go for the ban because I think in the end, Malignant has an upper hand in this draft.
Yep, it's all about that drafting phase. Can you already kind of put yourself in a favourable advantage going into this match from your draft? The bans are going to be coming in right now. We've got the Mei Huang, the damage taken out, and that Yonhong on the side of Malignant. It's going to be the speed leads on both Malignant and Unarmed. It's our Summoners War European League Match 4, Set 2 between Malignant and Unarmed. Can he reclaim a point against Malignant right now?
As mentioned, we have that FIFA Gel taking a little bit of an awkward turn. Like FIFA Gel, you would like to take the turn right after the enemy. And in this case, just go for a simple skill 1. But in the end, doesn't really do anything. But then again, we're also fighting another cleanse and immunity provider as in that light pony. Well, in the first place, just fully glanced also by that light pony.
Exactly, not managing to get any silence there out from a Chroma. Not going to be useful, and that Unicorn can look to transform, get up all of that immunity as well, and it's going to be maybe an uphill battle with those stuns on the side of Unarmed.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm also looking at the Juno right now because Juno does have a speed buff. Are you going to be outpacing that FIFA Gel? And therefore, the moment you outspeed the FIFA Gel, going to be at an unfavorable position for the skill 3 of FIFA Gel. But we have first that Chandra taking an additional turn, maybe doing something of his own flavor.
Exactly. If you're looking to push up right now, it might change the order. And there you go, Say.
Oh, this is why you kind of want to use an S2, but you also kind of don't want to use an S2. Because if you use the skill 1, at least you could have had some attack bar and therefore some HP. In this case, you have no attack bar, and that means no HP with that FIFA Gel.
Exactly, and there you go. Bye-bye Juno in this matchup right now. Oliver can look to control the Chandra, gets the cool time right now. It's not looking good.
Nope. Once again, we see an Akroma being locked in too early and immunity units being popping off at a later moment. And that's where Akroma just doesn't do too much. She wants, once again, she wants that armor break setup. She wants to be providing that glancing and that silence. But in this case, once again, she can't really do it. There's still pretty decent skill 1 damage, or like just overall single target damage coming in. But there's still a lot of life left on the side of Malignant.
There definitely is, and now you can get up even more immunity before that Akroma takes a turn. Not as much damage is going to be coming through right now, and it's only a matter of time for that bomb to go off.
Yep, and that bomb is on a unit that is in most cases war high on the defense rather than on the HP, and that is a good amount of damage taken away over there. And Gianna is looking to do it again.
Deciding not to go for a skill 3 there then, but right now she's stunned.
She's stunned, but that skill 1 was actually pretty good damage, like 1800 on a Gianna. It definitely adds up, and now we also once again have a stun on that Validule, and Malignant is looking very much in the driver's seat, and he's looking forward to getting his 4-0 so far today.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well, and now that line of Unicorn again. More immunity, more healing. Gianna just staying alive and being on the field is such a nuisance.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just once again Unarmed tried to go for a bruiser match, and so far all of the 3 bruiser matches that he tried did not really work out for him. So his Chandra's sitting at a mere 0 win rate because of it.
It is, and now you can just pile in skill 1s. No more damage coming out. Malignant takes that victory 2-0 against Unarmed there, Say. Again, a player that came in with 4 points, now up to 8, already doubled his points after just these 2 matches. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, and that also does make him rank 1 in the current leaderboards because the highest player from last week is sitting at 8 points, so he's already tied with that, and he has a much more to play, so he could actually be finishing off all the way at 10, but let's see if he can make that. But first, we're gonna look at some other players.
Exactly, we've got plenty more matches still on the way, everyone, but that was a bit of a killer. I loved it. I mean, you just saw how deep of a box Malignant had and how dangerous some of those LD units can come into play right there. Maybe a little bit unlucky with Unarmed there. Obviously, kind of Juno outpacing, like you said. Vivichel coming in, switching it fully up and just taking rid of a unit right there. But you've kind of got to expect it, right? If she's on the field, it could happen.
Yeah, that's always the Vivichel danger, and that's also why she has such a high ban value that people are always like, oh, I'm not entirely sure how the match is going to prevail and when it's going to work out. But if the Vivichel gets the turn at the right timing, I know you're on low attack bar, it's just low HP bar from that point on. And then you also boost up the attack bar on the side of the Viva Gel. And that's just taking a unit out right there. But
Hey,
this is...
we're carrying on the pattern.
Yeah, well, we are. Well, but then again, do you expect a 1-to-1? Because actually, from that pattern that we had just before the break, the 2-0 on that was doable. But then I was looking at the second match, a 1-to-1 for PinkRoid Merle. I'm not too sure about.
PinkRoid might first pick a Juno, say. You have no idea.
I definitely have no idea, but I definitely don't think PinkRoid will go for a Juno first pick. I think he goes for his countable units. He's probably gonna lock in that Jungnam. Maybe he might look at a Cleave kind of comp himself. In the end, he does have a Maximilian as well, which I think Merle is somewhat open to use against, because most of the time, Maximilian is countered by passive units or units being too fast. Whereas Merle is drafting a lot of turn 2 units without being that fast, of course, that's turn 2, but it's also not that crazy on the passives where it's gonna take in an attack bar or counter or do anything that way.
Exactly. Crazier things have happened than a G2 beating a 3-time European champion. I'm higher on the rankings than Specchi right now. Ouch. Here we go. We've got the pre-bans coming in. Vivachel and Oliver. A Fengyan beating first pick, say. It's maybe not a Juno, but it's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's not a Juno steal, but that is a Feng steal. And also, I did not really expect that, but then PinkRoid does go back to his comfortable units right there. And yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at a bruising it out. So where I maybe expected PinkRoid to go for a snipe kind of comp, because I definitely do think he can pull that off. We're definitely looking at a very more bruiser kind of matchup over here.
Definitely. And Shizuka coming out on the field. Miles coming out, maybe to stop it from being partnered with that Raccoony on the other side. But there's also Leo coming out. This is going to be bruises everywhere.
Yeah, this is the point where PinkRoid almost says, I don't want to press that third skill. We just have that Jungnam on the field. But I would say both drafts do have some potential right here. But on the side of PinkRoid, there's a lot more healing going on. There's 4 units on that side that provide some kind of healing.
Yeah, so much sustain coming out on the side of PinkRoid right now. Merle coming in with a snipe unit of her own right there. Ian entering the field. Do you have to take it out?
It's definitely an interesting one. I wouldn't be surprised if Leo and Ian don't make it to this much, because an Ian-Shizuka combination could be pretty deadly.
Definitely, we can get a snipe off, maybe going for another unit as well. Miles, if he's on the field and Leo's there, he's going to be not doing as much damage as well there. Let's see. This is I didn't expect this. Did you?
No, totally not at all. I also did not expect PinkRoid to go for a first pick on a Feng, but what I did expect were exactly those bats.
Exactly, we've got defense lead coming in and that water HP lead as well coming in our Summoners War European League. Match 5, set 1 between Merle and PinkRoid right now. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the setup for PinkRoid of how long can he sustain, because the only actual healing that Merle does provide is that Juno. And you are kind of the deciding factor of how often Juno can go for that healing. So in the end, I think that Feng Yang might have a pretty nice match with double support that cleanse him all the time.
Yeah, there you go. There's cleansed already right now. There's a lot of buffs on the side of Merle from Shizuka right now, but he's going to be tumbling in damage, getting some strips on.
I'm not sure what PinkRoid gives these units, but there's 2 additional turns right away from that. We have seen it in a previous match already as well. There's just a lot of additional turns on this man's unit side.
Oh, look at that as well. The Nemesis coming out right there, getting a lot of attack bar right now. Just more sustain coming through.
Yeah, there's a lot of sustain coming through, and the healings and the shields. If the Miles is able to take out one of those sustain units, there might be a good match, but Jongnam is having somewhat more of that violent runes right there.
He is. Skill 2 is available. Does get some good stuns right there. Juno can maybe pile a little bit of damage in, but those shields are going to be tanky.
Yeah, the shields are definitely going to be tanky. Plus, Miles is already on low enough HP where you don't really want to be hitting more shields, because any shield that you hit when Angela's on the field, you're going to be taking more damage. And the Jongnam is going 3 for 3 on those additional turns already.
Yeah, he's managing to nearly take out that Miles, but even Angela can probably take her out there.
Yeah, that is just, wow, I'm not sure what this Jongnam is doing, and Laura's like, please give me some of that as well. We want to go in the sleep train, and we're not going for sleep train.
No, we're not in Jongnam right now. Is it 4-4? No.
Well, it did take the extra turn by getting the full attack bar earlier on, so he could have already went there. So he's 3 on 5, which are definitely still good numbers. Like, I would sign to have all of my units go 3 on 5 all the time.
I mean, in all fairness though, here, say PinkRoid, is this just showing the rune depth and quality that he has right now?
Absolutely, but I think also for the whole drafting perspective, even without those additional turns, I think he still had the upper hand in draft, simply by the fact where he has a lot more sustain in a bruiser fight than your opponent.
Yeah, the more you can sustain, you can take more damage coming through. Feng Yan again, landing defense breaks, applying that damage. Zhongnan can come in, try and finish off units.
Yeah, there's just so much going on. And actually, I haven't really noticed it yet, but I think that Feng Yang is even on Vampire, so it's even harder to kill. Let's see. Yep, that's on Vampire, so yeah, that's impossible to kill right there. You have to do a lot of work because all of the 4 units on your enemy side are just straight up healing all the time.
Exactly, so much healing, getting those shields even when it does go down a little bit on HP right now, and it's just a cleanup job for PinkRoid.
You know what unit would have been insane on the side of Merle right now? Having a Gapso. That Gapso would have taken so much attack bar from all of the units of PinkRoid, but in the end, it's a Shizuka, which is just sitting there being stunned.
Exactly, Shizuka right now with that defense break as well was frozen. Feng Yan can come in soon and get some more damage going into it, and it's... I mean, it's just class from PinkRoid.
Yeah, absolutely. PinkRoid has all of the units at full HP, and I don't think that will get any change towards the end of the battle now.
No, and you can see more shields if you want to even come up with Feng Yan. Does even manage to take out that Juno right now, and it's only time for PinkRoid to secure that first win against Merle right there. I mean, it just shows why he maybe is 3-time European champion at SWC.
Yeah, definitely very well drafted over there. Also very well read on the draft where he could lock in those units with all of those passive healings. And most of the time, when you play a proper turn 2 kind of style with a lot of passives, it mostly feels a lot stronger. We had Jocelino go with that last week, and it just worked out very well as well. Whereas Merle likes to go turn 2 with units that still have more active skills. And then, as we saw with the Shizuka, she only got 1 proper turn off, and the rest of the time she was just sitting there being stunned.
Exactly. You can see right now as well, it is league rank number 3 at the moment, PinkRoid right now, against Merle, who is at the bottom at the moment. But she did already get a point from 1 point today. We're hoping for the pattern, say. We need a 1-1.
We need a 1-1. So in this case, let's see what we have for a ban. We have a Laura being banned and an Adna being banned. First pick, does Merle still go for that Juno? Or is she gonna go for a Feng Yang first pick right now?
Exactly. Steal that Feng Yan. I want it in my draft right now. Is it going to be that, or do we continue with the Juno? Thinking a little bit longer than I thought. Going for it.
Still going for that Feng Yang. So in this time around, do we go for it? No, PinkRoid is more looking at stealing units still with that Shizuka early pick. Then again, PinkRoid is known to be liking a Shizuka style as well, and often does pair that with like an Enteros to just give attack buff and crit rate buff to the whole team. It looks very nice, but actually takes it away and more goes counters into a Shizuka. Nope, takes that away again. And we're going back to the Shizuka. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Well, we've still got a resetter there in the form of Sekhmet right there, and Juno appearing again for Merle. We kind of know what the draft is going to look like, and it's kind of coming into her disbenefit during these matches at the moment, say, but maybe get some more sustain if you're trying to go for it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those units, and I think that's very well on the read on PinkRoid already. The Sekhmet is already countering a unit that's not on the field yet. The Tianling is already countering a unit that's not on the field yet. So you just know what Merle is going to be drafting, and that's definitely putting her on a back foot, because if she goes for a Shizuka right now, Sekhmet is already there, and then we're going to see a Cigar in the 5th. Rigel we have seen before as well, but this is a really good opener for just a Cigar in the 5th, and I think that PinkRoid is looking at a very favorable match.
He definitely is looking favorable. I mean, you have been an SWC Europe Cup champion before. Cassandra, Fire Cassandra coming out right there, can look to snipe out some units as well, say.
I'm not too sure about that. I think that Feng Yang has showed too much HP where you probably can't fully take that out in one go, whereas you can probably snipe out that Juno, but is that going to be enough though? So I'm not too sure about the Federica pack, but in general, I still like the PinkRoid draft more.
Yeah, I mean, let's find out who the bans are going to be right now. Are we going to see a Rigel going into the Summoners War European League right now? Or are you going to be respectful of some of those big hitters on the side of PinkRoid? The Tianlang and the Rigel are taken out right now. This is going to be another interesting match right now. Units that we don't commonly see on the side of PinkRoid, I would say, together, at least. We do see them, but let's find out how they're going to face off against each other in our Match 5, Set 2. HP lead on both sides for Merle and PinkRoid. It's our Summoners War European League, Match 5, Set 2. Can Merle regain a point here against PinkRoid?
First of all, VVHL does connect the reset, but the big question right now is where are you gonna connect the rest of your skills? Because you have to reset that VVHL first, but the segment right now, what are you gonna do with that? Or not the segment, the Shizuka. What are you gonna do with that Shizuka? Because she still has that third skill up, and that is going to be an AoE slow from that, or an AoE sleep from that Shizuka right now. We still first can cleanse it off, but if you give an armor break, you do give an armor break to the whole team as well. And once again, PinkRoid starting off clean with additional turns. But does he actually want to use that third skill right now? Because the moment you give armor break to the enemy team in this position, you will give armor break to yourself as well.
Exactly. There's a defense break anyway now on the field from that Feng Yan that can look to get strips out right now and can look to get those sleeps around.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one right there, because the Shizuka and the VVHL both took turns at really crucial and good moments where the Shizuka had to go for that reset, but once again, Jongnam liking those additional turns, but in this case, it's fighting for immunity, and it doesn't like to do that much.
Exactly, and there was a heal block as well on the side of PinkRoid right now. That's going to help cleanse off that Feng Yan right now.
Cleansing off that Feng Yan, but the big question is, where are you going to tumble down your damage? And I think we're going to say goodbye to that Bayek pretty soon. Thing is right now, if you use past life, then the Federica is for sure going to be hitting on that other target, unless you try to strip it right now. But Federica, where are you going to be aiming your damage?
Exactly, Segmate does have that skill 3 available. Going into the VVHL instead then, can you look to use that skill 2 and get it out?
We're gonna go on that Juno. Actually does not manage to take out that Juno. Wow, that Juno is very tanky. The Jongnam with just a little bit of chip damage right there was actually able to take it out. But the thing is right now, the Feng Yan is still on the field. And with the Feng Yan on the field, I think that Merle might be looking at a pretty favorable, like 2 against 2 the moment it gets to that point.
Exactly, skill 2 is available. Are you looking to put some defense breaks? Does land and gets a heal block as well, but Feng Yan is going to be turning on.
Yep, Feng Yan taking out the first, passive life over there. Also landing an armor break, very consistent on fire. That's what you like to see. Can we be consistency on the other side as well? Consistency for wrong elements is what we see right here. Feng Yan also being stunned, and Jongnam once again liking those additional turns.
Yeah, not skill 2 enough to get rid of the VVHL right now, and that isn't either. There's no skills available, but just staying alive is going to be very annoying.
Absolutely. So definitely this is the position where you want to be taking out that Federica, that Fire Cassandra. If you take her out, not enough damage, and that's going to be more healing.
Wow, she managed to survive there right then. Let's find out. Feng Yan's going to be taking some turns. Can you look to try and confirm a kill?
I think the skill 1 does not kill right here, so is still gonna go for it. Does actually not take it out. Also, the reset right now, you want to aim it for the Shizuka, but no, it's actually gonna go for it. But then the Shizuka's gonna be very close on skills too.
Ooh, there you go, Feng Yan taking out that Federica as well. And now you've got skill 2. Was VVHL with skill 3 available? No.
No, it was just reset, so that's definitely not available. What is available is the Juno skill 1, just adding in a little bit of chip damage over there. But how much can we do over here? We do get the armor break once again. Jongnam stuns wrong element. Does once again get the stuns wrong element, and that shows why PinkRoid is drafting once again the Jongnam. It's taking additional turns. It does not care about elements. It also landed a freeze wrong element right there. The Jongnam is doing everything.
Jongnam is him right now. Can you get an additional? No, not here. But Feng Yan needs to get online. Just take out that Sekhmet.
Ooh, no additional turn. Would have taken out the... But we have a Shizuka skill 3 coming up. A Shizuka skill 3 can flip the board. That is a lot of debuffs, but Jongnam is not having any of it. There's still additional turns on this Jongnam.
Oh my god, Feng Yan though can look to confirm a kill right now. Oh, maybe a wrong turn for that.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad turn to take that additional turn. You definitely have to go for the damage, I think. Unless you go for skill 2 right now and there's going to be too many buffs. No, I don't think that was the right play. I think if she went for that skill 2 on that Feng Yan as well. Not enough damage, but it's very close. That additional turn. The additional turn will actually take it out. There's 4.5k per hit, 3 of those hits. And Merle takes a victory against PinkRoid. So the pattern is saved.
The pattern is still on. The pattern is saved. Merle coming up clutch right there. I mean, Jongnam had a lot of things to say in that match, but in the end, so did Feng Yan. He had the louder scream, the louder shouts. What a crazy match. What?
Yeah, absolutely. And that also does kind of show once again that, well, in the end, the Jongnam did a lot of work. Like, the Jongnam was taking a lot of additional turns, stunning a lot of wrong elements. So I would say, yeah, Merle definitely had an upper hand in drafting this one, which was interesting to see. But that also does show that you don't really want to be playing your enemy's playstyle, because every of the victories that Merle had so far is where they allowed her to be in a bruiser style.
Exactly. Never underestimate your opponents. I think that's what we can take into account right now. Wow. I mean, I just need a second there because Jongnam went crazy. Feng Yan, even Shizuka at the end came in clutch with all of those debuffs coming out on the side and even the buffs for the side of Feng Yan. What a matchup right there. And a G2 has just taken a set against a previous 3-time SWC Europe Cup champion. It's going to change things on the leaderboard, I expect, right now as well, because we're not going to see a full clean sweep from PinkRoid from today's matches. We still got Malignant on for that later on, but there's still another match we have here before we're going into another break. Let's find out exactly what that matchup is, right? It's going to be Charge versus Slay. The pattern says Slay's going to win 2-0.
Yep, so let's see if Slay can make that work. As mentioned, he still has that LD5 that he hasn't shown yet. But let's see if he can make that work against Charge, because Charge also does have shown that he's just a very strong opponent. He does have that silver, but Charge also had kind of a, I would say, misdraft on that second match against PinkRoid, whereas his first draft looked very strong, but that is also one of those things. If your first draft isn't really working because maybe the random moments weren't really going in your favor, that's why you start doubting yourself, and that's why you're like, this didn't work in the last time, I'm gonna switch up things, and that's the moment you might actually switch up things for the worse. But let's see how he can make that work this time around against Slay.
Exactly, we're here for it. Our Summoners War European League, Day 4, Match 6 between Charge and Slay as we get prepared to go into this one. I hope Slay has been connected overnight. He will need 100% charge to take down his next opponent. Let's find out in this one. Pre-bans are going to be coming in soon, say. I'm still reliving the last match.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Feng Yang. I haven't seen that much of Feng Yang work since days, and it's still definitely a very interesting unit that can work from time to time. And that also definitely does show that if you give a lot of love, a lot of good runes to a specific unit, most of the units can actually work to a decent extent. But right now, we have 2 units that are not going to work. Those are the Kovaci and the Silver.
Yeah, just looking as well there on the side, say, we've got Slay and Charge both currently in league rank 10th as well. Not where you want to be to get into those playoffs in that top 8. And Charge looking to take that 33 speed lead with Oliver, and Slay answering very quickly.
Yep, we have that segment once again on the field with that Sierra. Charge, what are you going to be aiming for? Goes for a Juno. Could go for Juno or Chroma. It is definitely an option that you could go into a Sierra plus a segment opener. But we go once again for that Jongnam.
Ooh, Zeratu coming out of there on the side of Slay. We know how much damage he can do into his opponents right now. But is it going to be enough?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those units that does do a lot of damage, and we're pairing it once again with a Fire Monkey. So definitely looking at a bit of fire business with a Fire Monkey right there. It is pretty decent into a Jongnam, but Jongnam can also make quick work of a Fire Monkey the moment that he gets the good connected hits in.
Definitely can, and Charge taking a little bit longer here to respond into this one right now. He's got a bit more of a bruiser setup, but there's so much damage that potentially is going to be coming out from Slay with those 2 units that he's picked. Does he need some more damage for himself?
Yep, and Miles was exactly the kind of damage that I was thinking of. I was thinking of Miles maybe plus a Raccoon would definitely be very strong. And there you have it, the new unit of Slay. He picked up a Gianna.
Ooh, another Oracle. 3 more Oracles in the draft here, say. Do you have to respect it?
I definitely do think so. It kind of depends what build it is on, because if it's on Swift and it might outspeed the enemy units, such as the Miles, it might be very bad. But yep, new unit, that's not going to be shown.
You don't get to play with your toys here in the Summoners War European League. Speed leads for both Charge and Slay. It's here, match 6, set 1 between Charge and Slay. Let's see who can take that first point.
First turn goes once again to that segment. You have to land it on that Vivagel, otherwise your segment is pretty much dead. So, segment, can you do it? Segment, very consistent today.
Does manage to get it, and right now you can look for a strip. Are you going to be able to be going into that Zeratu so he can't get a skill 2 with Oliver coming up next? Go for the Ciara instead.
Going for the Sierra instead. Yeah, both of them are very dangerous to be working off with. So in this case, we actually don't have the Monkey moving in front of the Zeratu. If you had that, most of the time you don't really ruin it that way, especially not in the early stages, because it does happen later over time with the passive. But if you had that, you maybe would have been able to take out a unit, especially on an additional turn like that.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of damage, and look at those additional damage over time, nearly taking out that Oliver. There's going to be some healing coming in soon, but was the Mei Huang going to take it out first?
Yeah, that's the thing. Additional turn from this Vivagel is not going to do enough, and also doesn't do enough damage by itself. It was more on the damage build. It would have actually taken it out. In this case, it doesn't work. We're looking for heal blocks. We do get that heal block on that Vivagel.
Exactly, perfect timing. And now you can look to get some stuns in right there, get some healing up. And again, Jongnam is being crazy in Summoners War European League.
Yep, Jongnam definitely does like to take those additional turns. Plus the additional turn on that Vivagel earlier makes it where she can shake off that armor break right there. And Monkey doesn't really have a good target to focus on right now.
No, he doesn't. The immunity on the side of Charge right now can't land a defense break. And Juno compiling that damage. Maybe it's time for that Zeratu to say goodbye.
Yeah, Zeratu is definitely not going to be living. A few more skill ones coming in right now, plus those dots that are kicking in. But question is still, Fire Monkey, can you make it work from this position on? If we can get some stuns, some rotations on an armor break. We're getting a little bit of both. Rotation on the armor break. Yes, sir, we have both connected right now. Let's see if the Vivagel has something to say about that.
Exactly, we can look to reset there on the Jongnam right now. It might be a Mei Hu Wang versus the world as we get later into this match.
Yeah, this definitely looks like one because that segment is being stunned and we have no additional turn. Is there skill 3? No, there's definitely no skill 3 because also additional turn will not provide a skill 3, so we're saying goodbye to that Vivagel.
We are. Are you going to even just confirm it with skill 2 or just try and go for the skill 1 to make it work?
I would go for skill 1 because you want to land that skill 2 on that Jongnam because that's the only way you can take out the Jongnam and then start working on the Juno because in the end, a Monkey against Juno and Jongnam is very difficult to work on with both.
Definitely is because there's healing coming out from the side of Jongnam very soon. Is this the moment to try for it?
It's actually interesting where he decided to go for skill 1 last time around because I think you want to sure a stun helps, but if you land that armor break, you have so much more damage potential. But maybe he wants to save it for a position where he's on lower HP, but is it over here? Does he get the additional turn with another crit? Ooh, doesn't actually get it because right here, right now, there's also the Jongnam skills being up, and that's why you shake off the armor break really fast by the absorption.
Exactly, needs an additional turn to try and get a skill 2 off soon. Doesn't get it. Juno can clean up for Charge, taking that first point against Slay right now. No monkey business in this one.
Nope, and we also broke the pattern because Charge took that first victory.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's really upset me, sir.
Yeah, it's sometimes things just don't really go your way. It happens. It happens. Now the big question. Do we instantly see Gianna being pre-banned? It's like, oh, you pulled a new unit. I just post-banned it and I'm going to pre-ban it. You're not going to play that one.
Exactly, the mind games right there. Yep, you got this. Yep. Well, you can't play with it.
Nope, not allowed. Nope, too good, not allowed, not going to be in here. So let's see what Slay can go for then right here. Because in the end, it does enable Slay to play with his Zeratul, which he definitely does like to play with a lot as well. And we saw it in the last match. Nearly took out a unit right away.
Poor Oliver coming in then. Silver and that Jongnam as well. Sekhmet back out on the field as well. And the Zeratu coming in as well.
Yep, definitely a lot of as-wells and as-wells. Same with the Juno and the Necroma as well.
Exactly, we can just click repeat on our, recording of our last cast there. And then here we are, because Mi Ying as well has also been here today.
Yeah, Mi Ying we actually haven't seen too much. We actually see more of the brother that was on the win side, but let's see what the Mi Ying can actually do against that, because it is very good against the stuns that the Jongnam provides. But then again, what do you want to pair that with as a last pick? Ooh, we're going for a Zenitsu.
Here we go, Zenitsu. So much damage can come out from that unit right now. Charge going in for the Bruiser. Maybe needs some more healing if he wants to carry on with it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting style because it's a very strong, heavy Bruiser comp for Slay right there. And I actually really like his comp. The only downside is Slay doesn't have that much of healing. So if you provide more healing on your side, it would be pretty strong. But then again, there's a lot of single target damage and there's no real good healer single target that could do enough. Rakuni is definitely an option, but is that going to be enough?
Exactly, because now do you just try and take out some of the damage coming from Charge? Maybe that Acroma is still healing around him. It's always dangerous when you see that Mi Ying out on the field with the Zeratu as well. Say, who are you liking to ban?
I would personally say for that Silver, because that removes the potential for immunity, but we're actually going to remove that Acroma.
Acroma going out, and the Mi Ying as well there, so 2 forms of damage. 33% speed leads for both of our guys going in to our Summoners War European League Match 6, Set 2 between Charge and Slay. The pattern has been broken, but can Charge get an extra point?
Let's see, Sekhmet, first turn. Once again, we have been very consistent so far today, but at some point she's not gonna land. But actually today, she has been very, very consistent. Only thing is we have a little bit of an awkward turn on the Jungdam because there's no real follow-up on this skill 2 that he's going to do.
Exactly, you can't use an Achroma Silence right now. How much damage are we seeing again coming out here from that Zeratul? Gets the strip as well.
Gets a strip and gets a lot of damage right there. Oliver, where would you like to set your skill? Because it might be a little bit weird, but on the Raccoon, it might actually not be that bad. Even though that you most likely... Oh, it's actually going to go for the reset on the Juno, so we don't have that going on. And we got 2 perfect stuns from the Zenitsu, plus an additional turn. No armor break, however, but still good damage.
Exactly, and Raccoon, they're just coming in to cleanse a little bit longer. Silver getting that additional turn, but with no skills, it's not going to be too super useful.
Yeah, and that's why that Raccoon is coming in clutch. 2 debuffs hit per every turn that it takes. But we have a speed buff, armor break right now on the Zenitsu. How much damage can you do on this Jungdam?
Oh, 20k.
20k, oh, good damage, but I was expecting just a little bit more. But we have a Zeratul moving right after. Armor break is still rocking in there, and he might take it out.
Yeah, let's find out. Is there going to be enough damage coming in right now? Likely. Oh, it's getting cleansed.
It was still cleansed by that Raccoon. Once again, the Raccoon is showing a lot of value. And yeah, it's just living one other day. Also, the Zenitsu looks more on a tanky build rather than a super high damage build. So let's see if that works out in the long run.
Exactly, confirming the kill on that Oliver. Charge taking note from other players earlier today right now. But that Zenitsu, there's damage that's going to be coming out very soon.
It's going for the skill 4, so that's also going to be a 50% attack bar gain. Right now, where do you want to aim that damage? A Raccoon in most cases is pretty low on HP and defense. It has the armor break sitting on it right now, but only the Zeratul can do a lot of damage on it. Does actually go for it, and that is really good damage right there.
It really is, but that skill 2 is going to help him get a little bit more sustain there for the Raccoon right now. Trying to go for some stuns, doesn't get it.
But now we have the Silver being online, and Silver is just doing so much work with the suppression, with the slow, lowering the damage output from this Nitsu right now. If you go for skill 4, you're actually going to lower your HP by a lot. So definitely a lot of work rocking in right there.
Exactly, looking healthy right now. Lots of debuffs, but not too much damage coming out. Juno needs to start dealing some skill 1s to get some good crits on there. Oh.
Ooh, actually decided to go against the suppression and use the skill 3, but in the process where she was very consistent until thus far, she was not consistent on the moment that you needed it, especially when it costed half of her life.
Ooh.
But we have an additional turn from the Zeratul. Every time it takes a turn, a little bit of extra healing, and there's just so many dots coming in there, but Raccoon has something to say about those dots.
Yeah, Raccoon just coming in and cleansing those dots coming in from the Zeratul right now. Can't quite set up the perfect moment to get that damage in. But Silver's not looking healthy. Ooh.
Silver's not looking healthy, and we're going to get another turn. Silver's also going to be taking the turn in front of the Raccoon right now. Would have been taken out regardless. But in this case, we have the Zeratul against a Raccoon, against a rat.
Yeah, let's find out, because he's going to be taking turns, getting some healing in. But Juno is getting those turns. Well, defense break is huge.
Defense break is huge. You have to be looking at the stun right now. At least the strip does get the stun and the strip and the additional turn. We're going to go for another cycle on that skill too. We have some more fury coming in, and we're going to hammer this rat real bad.
Wow, we're going to hammer this rat. What a quote right there.
He just did that. That's not me. Look at this guy. He's hammering everyone, and he's hammering really good. And he's going to take out everyone.
And the Zenitsu just finish it off as well here right now.
Well, the thing is, the skill 1 is still not going to take it. Well, on a crit, yeah, he does. But the skill 4 was not going to take it. But wow, Zeratul is like, you pull a new unit, it's really good. I'm not allowing you to play with it. But your old unit, that's the real shiny one right there. That's Zeratul, wow, damn.
Wow, Slay managing to come back then 1-1. And if somebody doesn't clip, he's hammering a rat. That is one of the best things I've ever heard on a Summoner's War commentary right there. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's a great match. I like that one. But it's also just, it's the skins, man. It's the skins, the Halloween skin on a rat skin. It's just like, that's the perfect moment.
Well, there you go. Slay managing to come clutch then. We've broken the pattern, but we have got a 1-1 right there. And that is rounding off our 6th match of today right now. And soon we'll be going up into a break. But I'm just waiting for the other news, because obviously, why are you all here? Because you want to hear of the other stuff that you can get, right? You know, What can we get? Why are we here watching? Why are we watching rats get hammered? You know, these types of things that everybody asks when they're watching Summoners War. But what a crazy, crazy match. I mean, G2 again against another G3 player.
Yeah. 2 times actually. 2 times in a row where a G2 player did manage to best a, well, top 15 player for Charge. Top 2 player for PinkRoid as we look at his finished ranking. So that's definitely very well played by both of them, I would say.
I mean, you've got to get here in the first place, right, to the Summoners War European League, and they've got here even though they're G2, and now they're up against these big opponents and coming clutch on the best stage in Europe that there is at this time of year. Let's see if they can prepare even for an SWC later on in the year. But there's still 3 more matches to come and 3 pretty incredible matches. Or we're going to at least start the next match with a really, really good one. But I'll just shut up because at the end of the day, there's going to be a coupon, obviously. And you'll see the coupon right about now. Swell to top. You can get a water scroll and some mana. And hopefully you can get a Jongnam as well.
Yep, and because those Jongnams have been showing once again that they are worth it. Like, if you're not drafting that thing, then you're probably doing something wrong. And that includes me as well, because I haven't been drafting my Jongnam that much. But that unit just does a lot. There's the heals coming in, the stuns, the strip on the skill 2. It's a lot of speed on that unit. It's hard to kill. It's just a whole lot to go into it.
Exactly. It's such a stacked kit. And when used right, we've got to remember the quality of the runes from all of these people and the artifacts on top make them shine even more. Mine probably wouldn't do the same, but still the kit helps to that fact, right?
Absolutely. But once again, we're going in for a little bit of a break. Don't go anywhere. Just grab a drink, grab a snack, and we see you right back for some more amazing matches, because we are going to have some great matches right there.
welcome back to the Summoners War European League 2025. We've already witnessed 6 matches earlier this evening. Where were you? We were here from 8 o'clock like every single Wednesday from all of the past 4 weeks. And again, some incredible matches that we have witnessed. If you've ever got a rat in your house, smash it with a hammer. That's my new thing that I'm going to be doing every time I see one. But some incredible matches, and we've got some even more incredible matches. The last 3 of today still to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very curious to see if Malignant has been going for pretty much steamrolling all his way on like all of his matches so far, because all the matches he played didn't really look that close. So let's see how he can do against PinkRoid, because PinkRoid is well known as a very good drafter and a very good adapter, but Malignant just shows so many good LDs and so many good runes. So curious to see how PinkRoid can handle that.
Exactly, facing off 2 big opponents here in our Summoners War European League. I think they're probably both in at least the top 4 right now of the leaderboard. We'll have to see from the actual kind of in-game to see where their league ranking is right now. But you can see already today, we've seen Malignant 2 2-0s. But that's not against PinkRoid, right? It's going to be really tough to face off against him and pull a 2-0 here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also curious to see what kind of units PinkRoid is going to be playing, because Malignant is really comfortable with his own playstyle, that Oliver, Yanhong, Gianna, and then just the follow up on that. Whereas PinkRoid has been showing that he likes to play all kinds of playstyles. So let's see if he kind of like completely flips the script, where he has like a very specific playstyle that he might want to use against Malignant, or that he just goes back to comfortable style of stealing an Oliver into a Segmet, Jongnam, and those kind of units.
Maybe there's a crazy Feng Yen first pick as well. Maybe not here against Malignant right now, but it might be something to try and get some points there on the board. I wonder if PinkRoid's ears are ready for some dirty beats from Malignant's midnight radio show. Womp, womp, womp. It usually sounds like that if you've never heard it before. Here we are on our Summoners War European League, Match 7, Set 1 between Malignant and PinkRoid. Pre-bans, who do you think?
I would say something along the lines of maybe Gianna, Tian Lang. Like, I definitely do expect some LDs that we see. Actually, no, it's Segmet, but Yanhong is definitely an LD we do see a lot.
Exactly, Yanhong being respected there, taken out. Is Malignant going to be locking in a 33% speed lead to go along with some fast units that he potentially might have right now? Oliver's been picked up recently as well.
Yeah, I definitely do think we're going to see an Oliver. Now, actually contesting more on the Jongnam, so that gives the Oliver potential to PinkRoid. Let's see if he does actually want to pick it up, or is he going to go right away for a more turn 2 kind of playstyle? Because for Sierra and Heigang, so a little bit of both.
Yeah, oh, changing it up there, maybe going for a different speed lead right now then. No, going instead for a cigar.
Interesting style. So where he can't pick the Segmet, he still wants to go for the reset as in Cigar. But Malignant has seen this kind of draft. He's just very fast locking in his units. But on the other side, you have a Chandra and an Atha. No, taken away a Velajul. We have the old Holy Trinity with a Heigang again.
Yeah, this Holy Trinity was around for a long time, falling out a little bit right now. But again, it's PinkRoid. You know, if he's picking it, he must be very confident in these units right now. Malignant has that 4th and 5th pick to see how he can deal with that old meta.
Yeah, let's see, because if you go for a Gianna right here, the Heigang is already on the field, and that might make it where the 5th pick of PinkRoid is strong enough where you also have to ban that. But I think I could still see a world where he could go for a speed lead plus a Gianna, and then maybe just remove the Heigang from the field. But Malignant is kind of thinking about that probably as well, or just going more towards a Bruiser, and that is definitely more Bruiser heavy right there, with a Ragdoll and a Light Unicorn.
Yeah, Eleanor coming out right there, being used pretty clutch by Malignant as well during the recent matches, was managing to keep the Gianna alive long enough to deal off the damage, but she's not going to be in this draft right now. PinkRoid, that final 5th pick, are you going to... It's a tough pick right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few options. You could go for a Federica and then have the Laura boost up the Federica enough where you ban out the pony. On the other side, Tian Leg, also a really good pick into the Ragdoll. Good pick into the Oliver, so good pick all round. But then again, if the Velajul's not on the field, I think Jongnam is going to be very dangerous.
Could be very, very dangerous right there. And let's find out exactly how they're going to go into it. Look at that, best ever 6th against a best ever 2nd as well right now. This is the elite of the elite in Europe right now, facing off against each other in our Summoners War European League. The bans are taking the full amount of time, and it is going to be that Heigang and the Jongnam respected to speed leads for both PinkRoid and Malignant as we get into our Summoners War European League Match 7, Set 1 between Malignant and PinkRoid.
Yeah, all eyes are right now on, can we strip that Velagel? We can actually land on the Velagel, and therefore we also go for the reset, most likely on the Velagel. Yep. So therefore we have no immunity going in. And actually gonna go for Provoke. I would say a nice play right there, because the moment that the Cigar could go in for skill 3 later on, it would be very strong. But then again, the Provoke on the Light Pony doesn't have a full activation rate, so it's a little bit of a risk as well.
Oh, I'm getting a stun right there as well. And another stun from that Revenge right now. PinkRoid, can you get some strips?
Oh, we do get a strip, but that pony is stunning everyone. And my people say, like, wait, is that a 100% activation rate for a pony to stun on skill 1? No, that's a 50. So that's definitely having some favorable moments. But we also have a very favorable moment right there. Cigar has the skill 3 ready. Are we going to land it? And we're going to land it on most things right there. But once again, stunned by the pony.
Exactly. Laura, can she look to cycle right now? Get a sleep? No, nothing happening. Get a defense break? Oh.
Tian Lang, some additional turn on that armor break does do a lot of damage. Same for that Chandra, also an additional turn. Also stunning right there, but we also have additional turns going back and forth. Interesting play right there to not go for the cleanse, I would say.
Yeah, and it's so many stuns coming out. Left, right, and center right now. Can even Tian Lang gets one as well, and a revenge one?
There's a lot of things taking additional turns and a lot of things playing on Provoke, and I think a lot of this match is going so lightning fast because a lot of these things are just playing on auto because there's so many Provokes flying back and forth.
Yeah, they definitely are. Chandra can slow it down a little bit right now, gets that defend, can push up the attack bar as well right now. No stun.
No stun this time around. Do we get a stun on this one? We do once again get a stun on that one, however. But we
And
get a
that one.
Provoke back and forth, but more stuns. And more Provokes, and more stuns.
And another one.
And another one, and we have a unit leaving the battlefield. Well, that's definitely a very interesting play where we see a light unicorn never switch to human form throughout the whole match until the very last moment.
Yeah, and doesn't have that skill 2 available either to be able to get some healing in there right now, but does get the stun at least.
Yeah, there's definitely more stuns, and also good damage from that Ragdoll. A clean 12k without an armor break or an attack buff.
Oh, nice additional turn from PinkRoid right there.
Yep, and then we have the TL Link picking up a lot of attack bar from that Ragdoll being critted on, and therefore we have the victory for PinkRoid.
PinkRoid then taking the first point of today against Malignant. That's his first loss, Malignant, from today's matches right now. Can he look to get some revenge, get an extra point? It's league rank 1 versus 2 actually right now, say.
Yeah, and I think that Malignant is tied to rank 1 together with Tech, because Tech is also on 8 points. So maybe all of the 3 players or the 2 players that we see right now plus Tech could be ending on 8 points. I'm not entirely sure how many points PinkRoid is on right now. I think he's probably also on 8. So let's see. The deciding point on this one might be the leader of the whole leaderboard.
Wow, pre-bans have come in as well. We've got a Gianna, we've got a Hairgang as well, countering each other. Oliver being picked, and then response quickly from Malignant with that Ciara and the Yonhong.
Yeah, once again, I would say that we have a new Holy Trinity on the leaderboards, and it's what we see on the bright side. Oliver, Sekhmet, and Jungnam. Those 3 are the 3 most picked units in the game right now, and I think we can claim them the new Holy Trinity.
There you go. Then we've got also Laura and Silver on the side. Maybe a premium Trinity right there, say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only missing the Tian Lang and the Light Gojo, and then you have the, well, it's not a Trinity anymore if it's 4, but then again, it's probably a word for it that you probably don't do know, and I don't know at the moment. But yeah, those are really strong at the moment too.
Definitely. We've got 2 fire units being in the response from PinkRoid there, with that Federica, Fire Cassandra, and the Juno as well.
Yeah, Juno, once again, a very good response against a lot of LD units, and except for the Yonhong, she's not doing too great into the Yonhong, but the other 2, Juno is very formidable. But let's see if Malignant can pick up a very strong 5th pick with this. Is he going to look into another speed lead, or is he going to go for another speed contesting unit?
Ooh, some damage that can come out there against those 2 fire units, say, in the form of a Marshal. We haven't seen a lot of her.
I definitely do think she's pretty strong into Jongnam, because every turn she takes, where she actually takes the turn and is not being stunned, therefore also Marsha on Will is getting a little bit more popular. It's very good into a Jongnam comp where Marsha can take out the units next to the Jongnam. So let's see how she will do in this matchup.
Speed leads have been confirmed for both PinkRoid and Malignant here then in our Summoners War European League Match 7, Set 2. Can Malignant get a point back on the board against PinkRoid? Come on, Sekhmet.
Segment, once again, has been pretty consistent on those first turns so far. And also, as mentioned before, that Masha is on Will right there. Segment, once again, being consistent. In this case, that skill 2 goes to that Sierra. And this Jongnam just wants to take 2 turns. It is built in the kit by now.
And there we go. Oliver can rain onto that Sierra. Insert the cool time right now. Silver can look to do a little bit in terms of cycling.
Takes it additional turn off himself and actually does get a counter. So if we can get a stun, does not get a stun, but this skill 2 right now will take at least 75 attack bar. Plus there could be a lot of damage coming in from it.
So much damage, keeping that defense rate, fully taking it out basically.
Yeah, absolutely taking it out. And where the Jongnam definitely does like these additional turns, the unit on the side of Malignant also do like their additional turns.
Exactly. There's only one unit, doesn't get a defense break, but does get some heal block.
Yeah, and the heal block in this case doesn't do anything because there's no healing on the side of Malignant. Any of the damage that is gone is going to be permanently gone. On the other side, we do have some healing, but is it going to be enough? Marsha is almost off the piece, but still, we're taking a lot of additional turns right here.
We are, and we're now going to set up a defense break. Are you going to go into that segment already right now to try and take it out?
I think he's doubted to go for the Juno, but the question is, can you take out the Juno? And I think it was too much of a risk, which I think he utilizes well to go for that segment first.
Exactly. You're looking to dismount here right now on that Marsha. As the moment she's down, she's not going to put any defense breaks out.
Well, I think the targeting on the Sierra is better because the Sierra is the best target to take out that Jongnam. The moment that the Sierra doesn't take any turns, Jongnam is pretty much fine to work against the other 3 units. So taking out that Sierra first, I would opt to go for skill 2 right now because if the Sierra takes an additional turn, you would have had a very bad match right there.
And that's done. Wow, that counter though is going to be helpful, but we've got going for the skill 1 instead.
You have to go for skill 2. I think a skill 2 had a lot more value over there because you could have had multiple stunts on multiple things. Sure, with the skill 1, you have the cycling, you're faster to take your turn back. But I think just the skill 2 potential stunts are very high value there. But maybe he's waiting for this third skill to come off first.
Exactly. Oh, taking there can get some more damage in right now.
More damage, skill 2. How much can we get? We do get a very crucial stun, but also an additional turn. Marsha actually gets a very high hit on that Juno, and in this case, a little bit of chip damage is enough to take out that unit right there. And I think we're going 1 apiece right here.
No, Jongnam's got something to say right now here as well. Say, for PinkRoid, do you look to try and kill off that Marsha, or yes, going for it?
Yeah, definitely can kill out the Marsha, but big issue right now is he does have immunity, and there's no strips for the moment. But we're 1 turn away from the skill. It might actually, it's all about this Laura right now. Laura doesn't do it. This unit also can't do it, but we're gonna have a good skill 3 from this Jongnam once again. Stunning both units, taking an additional turn once again. No, we're actually not going 1 apiece. We're going 2-0 for PinkRoid right here.
Oh my god, Jongnam has been a crazy big fat dude here, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just, he's still there. And I don't think the damage in the end on a silver is never that high. You don't really add damage to it, and he's just also gonna say, like, I win this match on 1 HP exactly.
Wow, PinkRoid managing to spin the tables on Malignant there. Hadn't lost all day and has now come away 0-2 against PinkRoid. That is why he is a previous 3-time SWC Europe Cup champion right there. And maybe also because Jongnam is unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. Like, his Jongnam works. That is just the main thing. It takes the additional turns at the right moment. It stuns at the right moment. And it just brings so much value for it. And that makes sense why you would first pick a unit like that, yeah.
It definitely. I mean, you can see why it was contested so much during these matches right now then. And that's going to maybe even set PinkRoid to the top of our leaderboard at the end of these matches right now. Everyone's technically going to have also played the same amount of matches at the end of today. Maybe PinkRoid will be at the top. Last year, he was only behind Obaba at the very top, so he's not here anymore. PinkRoid can be the top, and will that stay like that through the rest of the competition? 2 more matches still to come here, say. 2 big matches as well. I mean, we're going to take a look at the overall leaderboard right now. Not the leaderboard, the schedule of matches that are coming in. But the pattern's gone, but we're still happy, right?
We're always happy with some firework matches, some Jongnam winning on 1 HP and kind of things. I like to see it, but let's see what the follow-up match is that we're going to see. And we're going to have Merle against Slay. So we're going to have, well, we kind of know what Merle likes to go for. It's going to be that FIFA Chow, it's going to be that Laura, paired with the Juno, paired with the Feng Yang. On the other side, Slay, we have seen that hammering Zaratu. It was working very well. He did try to bring in his Gianna, but so far has been banned twice. Either it was in the pre-ban or in the post-ban. So let's see if he can actually make it work right now, because I think that Gianna would be a very strong unit against Merle altogether, because getting that first skill in, getting the stuns in, but you have to get a follow-up in, because otherwise Ichizuka might be lurking to get an additional turn.
Exactly. 2 G2 players as well, so here in our Summoners War European League. It's going to be crazy to see if they can actually pull those different units off, like you were saying right now. I'm so excited for this matchup. Merle versus Slay. Here we go. Please, Slay. France wants you. It needs you. Oh God, what have I just done there? Here we are. It's our Summoners War European League regular season. Match 8, set 1 between Merle and Slay. Pre-bans are going to be coming out now.
I must say, that actually did sound pretty good, but we're respecting that Zeratul, and on the other side, we're respecting that Laura. So the Gianna has a potential to be in the match. Big question right now, Slay, what is your first pick that you're going to go for? You have seen it a few times before, that if you allow Merle to be in a bruiser fight, you might give the upper hand to Merle. So is he going to go for a turn 1 control kind of style, or we're going to be cleaving with a Kavachi?
Yeah, Kavachi coming in. Also a very stacked kit with some healing, with some attack bar manipulation. Merle then resorting back to her classic Juno, and Shizuka coming out.
Well, we're talking about nuking units, and we have a Kiara with a... Well, I'm liking this comp already. If we're talking fireworks on single target damage and then boosting things up, I'm liking this a lot. I really want to see where this is going. And I think Merle is really trying to find, like, can I somehow speed contest it? Because she has to be looking at, like, do I have a Sekhmet rune? Or do I have, like, an Athena rune? Or anything fast? Or maybe a Nana or some passive units for second life? Because you're going to need some of those.
Definitely are. Snipes are coming out right there. Instead, going for a more, obviously, with that passive, can't be sniped out so easily. But that Vivichel as well, we saw before, was on defense.
Yeah, so let's see. So in this case, you do already know that the Vivichel is not that easily killable for a Sonya. Shizuka, most likely the same take. Also on the, well, the more passive you can't do it, Juno, wrong element. So Sonya's definitely off the table. But Slakes maybe hasn't seen the previous matches, and or he decides to go for a way higher attack on the Sonya. But it is a little bit of a gamble, I would say.
2 snipe units coming out there. It's going to be snipers at the ready, shots being fired, left, right, and center. Merle, how do you respond? Do you need to bring in another revive with the life, like you were saying? Ooh.
Well, Lydia's a good option. That is hard to kill, but I really want to see where this comp of Slay is going, because there's just a lot of nuking units right there. There's 3 units on the field, potentially a 4th with a just cooltime increase and attack bar gain from that unit, or from that Polar Queen. Very interesting draft on the right side, but is it actually going to work?
I'm all ready. My eyes are fully open to watch this one, because this is going to be interesting. We're getting the Lydia out. The Kavachi has also been taken out right now. So we're likely getting speed lead. Speed lead on the side of Slay. HP on the side of Merle right there. As we're going into our Summoners War European League Match 8, Set 1 between Merle and Slay.
The next question is, could that more have been on full rage build to just tank a lot of damage and then just deal a lot of damage on the enemy side? But it was pretty high on attack bar, where it actually wasn't doing enough. Also, what's very interesting to see, how is this Kiara outspeeding a Sonya? I was not expecting that, but with that, you do enough damage.
Wow, so much damage. Oh, let's do it again.
Yep, Sonya, you can have a lot of defense, but attack buff defense ain't gonna be enough, and I think we're going to make very quick work of this. This is very well planned by Slay, and Slay's just showing guys, like, don't bruise her, just nuke it.
Oh my word. Wow, that was some clutch tech right there. Managing to snipe it out, and right now you can even get another skill 2 going. Boom!
I'm also, well, that's a very tanky more. I'm not 100% sure why you would have a more that tanky. But what I'm also very surprised about, Kiara has a 100 base. That 100 base was outspeeding a Sonya. This Sonya was specific crafted to make sure it's like, okay, I'm not gonna have super fast Sonya, what we normally do. I'm gonna have a Sonya that's very specific tuned to move right after this Kiara, because that's my setup, and with that, I'm just gonna nuke it. And very well planned by Slay, and that's where you can see, if you do your homework right, you know what the enemy is going to be drafting, because Merle in the end is kind of drafting the same thing over and over. If you do your homework well against that, you're gonna have your Kiara that is probably on a very fast set, pretty bad right there.
Exactly, Kiara taken out as well as that Vivichel. But if you know that could be coming still, How do you respond here? Because this first pick, you know that you could get potentially sniped, but still going for that Juno.
Still going for the Juno. Well, Slay also does have the different playstyle of going for Sierra, Kovaci, add in the Gianna that he has right now, add in the Zeratul. And that is not necessarily Bruiser, but semi-Bruiser and still cleaving. So I definitely do think that he has an opener option for that right here.
Yeah, let's see exactly if he decides to carry on with this trend right now to get some damage off. But Lauren Shizuka, Merle is asking all of the girls right now to get behind her, look.
Yep, let's see what Slay can bring to the table. Is he going to go for a nuking kind of style right here? Because then he has to show those in the slot 3 and the 4. Now, he's actually going to go for AoE strips. And does have the Gianna, but brings in a Robo. Actually brings in both.
Brings in both. There's only one speed lead on his side at the moment, but Merle is not showing up too much speed apart from that Laura being in there right now. Are we seeing another Feng Yan?
Well, Feng Yang is not going to do too much. That Moore was also on an interesting build where Moore survived like a 27k hit with like 25 to 30% HP left. So I'm not expecting that much damage from that Moore. Also, I'm not too sure if a Meowang is the right kind of passive that you were looking for. If that was the Wind Funky, I would have seen a little bit more value on it. But there's also Maximilian on the side of Slay. And once again, I'm really liking this draft on Slay because that is a simple Moore ban right there.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, Merle was winning points against people who were trying to steal and play her style of play. Slayer's come in and said, nah, I'm here. This is what I'm going to do. You're going to have to try and deal with it. Can she deal with it in this second set right now? Say Kovaci being banned out, Moore being taken out as well. So we're going to have a speed lead on the side of Slay, HP lead on the side of Merle. It's our Summoners War European League Match 8, Set 2. Merle, can you get another point from today's matches, or is Slay too strong?
Well, the big question is going to be, are you going to be dealing enough damage? Because in the end, there is that Juno. The Maximilian is not a Neftis, there is no heal block. So if you don't kill the Juno, that healing is gonna come back. Good thing that the Maximilian moves in front of the Sierra, so you can see with the Sierra bomb where you actually do want to land it. Do we get the stuns? We do get all stuns thus far. However, there is still additional turn potential. Good damage from the Maximilian. Do we get all of the absorbs? We get full absorbs. So Maximilian is gonna go for another round of skill 2 right after.
Exactly, and we do land that bomb, and we can detonate, and it's gonna be probably all she wrote very soon for Slay against Merle here.
Yep, that is a lot of damage coming in right there. And that's also what you like to see for Maximilian. Maximilian, that second turn, is a enemy max HP scaling skill. If you have the armor breaks across the board, it's just gonna do so much damage. And once again, by Slay, doing his homework, know what he's playing against, playing it very well.
Exactly, Slay coming in clutch there, taking 2 points against Merle. She's only lost those 2 points in the whole thing there. I mean, she managed to take 1 point off of both of her previous opponents there, say. So for her, still likely to be at the bottom of the leaderboard, but there's still a lot of matches still to go here. Crazy tech in that first set, though. It was crazy to watch just snipe. Oh, do you want to go? Yep, snipe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also, yeah, it's also very utilized by the LDs that he has, because it's very common that people have certain LDs and they're not using it that much because it's not pairing with the right units, or they haven't thought about a specific draft where they all fit very well together. But it's also one of those things. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Slay just has a second or third Sonya runed up for the comp where he gets the Kiara and he knows he's gonna outspeed, and then he's gonna lock it in. Whereas he also has his normal Sonya, that's like the normal speedy one. It's gonna never be outspeed by a Kiara, because in the end, 100 base against the 119 base, like including the speed leads, including the tower, including everything. There's a lot of speed to overcome for Kiara to outspeed that.
Definitely is, and I mean, there you go. Watch those matches. If you're one of the players as well, make sure you're taking notes against what people are using. Be prepared for it, and you could also maybe come away with another 2-0 victory there. Maybe this is a pattern for these 3 matches, say. Does that inform us that Unarmed maybe gets a 2-0 against Charge in this last one?
Well, let's see. Charge is definitely a very strong opponent, and once again, that Silver just was doing so much work for him. But let's see if he can make it work against Unarmed, because Unarmed is also known to go for more of a cleave kind of style, where maybe a Silver isn't as strong against. But let's see how that would revolve in this match.
Exactly, here you are, Charge and Unarmed in our last match of today in our Summoners War European League. Who can take home maybe some extra 2 points to bump you up in our leaderboard and get you into that top 8 for the playoffs, which are only 4 weeks away. It's not very far. You've only got a certain amount of matches still left to play, but here it is. I'm not sure I would advise charging at your opponent unarmed, but it seems we have no choice. All for one in this match. If you didn't get that, look at their names. Who uses a 4 for an A anymore? Guys, come on. It's our Summoners War European League, Match 9, Set 1, Charge and Unarmed. Take it away, Say.
We have very interesting pre-bans right here. It's like actually kind of similar to what I said earlier. I have silver, so I'm pre-banning another 33 lead, and therefore I have a 33 lead and you don't. But there's still one other 33 lead, which Unarmed banned himself. So that is definitely something he probably did not expect. But in the end, right now, Charge is the only one with a 33 lead. Sure, you could go for the Samath or maybe find a rare Trinity somewhere in your box, but those are not as commonly used as you see the units here on the field.
Exactly, and we've got here Chandra, Cigar, Velajul, maybe? Let's go back to it, right?
It's definitely an option, but so far for Unarmed, I think his Chandra is still on the 0 and 3 on his win potential. So let's see if he can make that any changes so far. Because so far, the best matches that Unarmed had were all of the time based on Vanessa.
Exactly. Oh, Etna coming out then, so another speedy unit to contest right now. Now she's going to be putting in a lot of damage into this match as well. Maybe you need another speed lead as well at some point.
Yeah, definitely could go for speed lead, but there's still also the contest for strips, because if Unarmed does bring that Velajul later on, you have to be starting to look at strips, whereas right now you only have 2 single target strips, which are on a little bit longer cooldown. So if Unarmed does decide to go for more immunity right now, which he actually doesn't decide to go for, it could have been a good option, but I'm not sure about the Nefties into a silver, where also the side of Unarmed, it has to have a little bit more single target strips. Well, there's 4 single target strips right now, so it can work. But then again, I'm not sure if that Nefties is going to be in the right position.
There we go, Volantis in response as well there to be able to kind of bruise it out. Is it an instant ban?
Well, Volantis is definitely a dangerous target. On the other side, I would say that that Asher might be the only one that overtakes you. And if the Asher is on the field and the Athna is not, so I think the Athna and Asher might be leaving the battlefield here.
Let's find out. We've got 9 more seconds going into it to find out who is going to be not participating in our match 9 set 1. It's going to be Eshe. It's going to be Etna. Both of the speedy units being taken out there. Speed leads on both sides for Charge and Unarmed. It's our Summoners War European League match 9 set 1 between Charge and Unarmed.
Let's see, Volantis taking that first turn, very well followed up by that Jongnam. If we connect all the skills, we're looking at a lot of stunts, and we're looking at a lot of work, and Charges from moment 1, very much sitting in the driver's seat.
Definitely is, can look to put some branding somewhere as well right now. Maybe dismount that Marsha at some point as well. Narsha.
Yeah, we also have we had some Marshals on the field, now we have a Narsha on the field, and in this case, there's just a lot of attack bar absorb, and I don't see Charge or Unarmed taking any turns anytime soon. We can also lock it down by a bomb. You could explode it right now, but I would probably wait with it and just let the additional turn that potentially is there do it for you.
Oh, you can look to maybe protect a little bit longer right now. Boost up some attack bars, try and get some additional turns, but there's going to be bombs going off soon.
Yeah, and the big issue is, in the end, the dots of the Volantis will still connect. And there's low enough damage for the Narsha to be wasting her turn if she does get that right now. So let's see if the Volantis actually did not manage to get enough attack bar himself to prevent that at the moment. Narsha, a little bit of damage, but not enough.
Went for it though, even with the suppression as well, but big stuns coming out there right now. Can even look to detonate if you want.
Yeah, in this case, if you detonate, it's more for the absorption of the attack bar, and then you can go for another round of bombs. So in this case, I would actually go for it, because that would make you get another turn and drop another bomb somewhere else, and then you can just simply replace the bomb on that Cigar once again. So, but in this case, it's definitely not a bad play. It's just a different kind of style of play. But in the end, Charge, whatever he's doing, I don't think I really see him losing from this point on.
Exactly, you can look to land another bomb right now as well. Maybe even onto that Neftis. Maybe look to detonate at some point, and look at the immunity. It's going to be Quinn soon with that resistance though.
We have that resistance coming in, but we're going to use this time around for getting the attack bar in. Also, the Neftis is not looking that lively. Double dot on it, plus a slow, plus a stun. It's not going to be looking at taking any turns anytime soon. And Volantis is definitely one of those units. It's hard to fit in with the runes itself because it's very low on the base. And to have it outspeed a Jongnam on a 33 lead, you need very good Despair runes. Charge has those and takes the victory with it.
Wow, Charge managing to take that first point against Unarmed here right now. That again, breaks the pattern. So Charge is the guy who just breaks the pattern whenever he wants.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna keep in mind for the next few weeks as well. Let's see if he's the breaker of chains, the breaker of, well, patterns in this case. But let's see, first of all, what we're gonna have for a pre-ban over here, because that could be a silver pre-ban in this position, because Oliver pre-ban, I'm not sure if that makes too much sense against Charge, because sure, he likes his Oliver, but I think he likes his silver a lot more.
Definitely like silver a lot more right there. Actually, as well, say, just looking league rank at the moment for both of these guys, 11th versus 9th at the moment for these guys. They're wanting to get some extra points to get up that leaderboard into the playoff spots. It's going to be interesting to see if they can actually make that happen, at least for Charge here. Esche and silver is respected and banned this time round.
The big question for me is Charge going to be stealing a Vanessa? Because you do know your opponent is a Vanessa-based player. And so far, 4 for 4, the Chandra on the side of Unarmed has been losing. And he could make it a 5 for 5 right here.
Exactly, partnering up a Chandra there with the Sekhmet then. Again, looking for some cool times. This was a response earlier from Charge and the match didn't go too well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Unarmed looked at those matches, the answer was immunity. There are already 2 strippers on the side of Charge. So if he continues that pattern, he might still work with, like, let's say, a Raccoony Miles in the 4 and 5. That is something that Unarmed has to be keeping in mind if he goes for something like a Velagil right now, because it is somewhat weak. No, actually goes for a completely different style and going LDs.
Yeah, single target damage coming out there from the Nasha and the Bella as well. Volantis did a lot of work in that last round as well for him. So maybe going to that back pocket pick for him.
Yeah, the big question on the Volantis right now is you're not going to have that much form of sustain at all. So I would still rather see a Raccoony Miles in this combination, either what you're facing right now, than a Volantis kind of base of style. Because you also make the ban phase pretty difficult. And with a Kraka, you're not going to make it any much easier for yourself.
Definitely not right there. I mean, we've got the revive in that skill 3, but usually it's going to get targeted out as well. Let's find out how Unarmed wants to look to respond to that one right now. Just some more strip from Charge, really, hey?
Yeah, definitely an interesting style over there. It is a nice setup for the Achroma, where we're going to have a response with the Douglas. And the Douglas is actually a pretty good find, because I think none of the units on the side of Charge can deal with the Douglas that well. So it's probably a must ban, and therefore the Sekhmet can probably do good work in here.
Let's find out. Speed lead for Unarmed, HP lead for Charge, as we're going into our Summoners War European League Match 9, Set 2 between Charge and Unarmed.
In this case, we do have the Sekhmet moving first and does connect the skill. Interesting to go for the Volantis, doesn't want to deal with any of the provokes coming out potentially. But then the big question, can your units instantly take out a Kraka? Because that's going to be your next target.
Ooh, that's going to help. But
Armor Break connecting, Armor Break that do a lot of damage. Bella, are you on crit rate? Does seem to be not a crit rate Bella, but that looks like enough damage.
Definitely enough damage at the moment, and there's going to be, obviously the cooltime was reset for Volantis, so he's not going to be doing too much. Can you maybe get a stun?
Yeah, we're looking at a stun somewhere, but in the end, all eyes are on the Juno and the Chroma. They have to take this match home. There is no healing on your opposing side as well. Just double tap it, make it sure that it actually gets away. But now what's your next target? Probably that Achroma, because the other 2 targets are still a little bit difficult to deal with. Goes for the Volantis, could have been stunned in the process.
Definitely could have. Not even deciding to go for a skill 3 and getting a big stun as well.
Definitely interesting to see. I think that Unarmed is taking some unnecessary risk. In the end, it is working out, and if it works out, it was probably the right play. But it's still always risky to go for Volantis hits, especially where you're kind of chipping the damage back and forth. In this case, could do enough damage. 20k on that second hit is enough damage right there.
Definitely is enough damage right there. You've got that skill 3, you can reset the Juno right now. Are you going to just look to push up the rest? No, still only using skill 1.
Still using skill 1. I definitely do think at this position it's the right play. Also, the Juno is not connecting enough damage, and therefore the Bella, the glancing is not going to matter that much because it's all additional damage.
Definitely, and Nasha right now can even pile in a bit more damage right now. Going into that Chroma. Whoa, big damage coming out.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting style for Charge, going on that 4 and 5th pick on a Volantis that looked like getting outsped, so it's not gonna do that much. And a Kraka that didn't even get to move a single time, so I definitely do think he had a better chance with some different units in there.
Definitely, but maybe the tables can... no, you're going to be taking out this Akroma anytime soon right now, and Juno against these three is going to be very tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see Juno winning this. And the glancing is low-key even helping the Juno, because the moment that you don't land your armor break, the Juno's not going to get any healing from it. So, and I don't really see a world where a Juno can win this from this position of the HP where she's at right now.
Exactly, especially with a skill 2 likely to come in soon from that Nasha as well. Maybe even a skill 1 is going to be enough, and it is for an Armed to reclaim a point against Charge there, taking it 1 apiece in our final match of the day, say. Wow, I mean, kind of changed completely. He went for a bruiser style charge and it didn't quite pay off. The Akroma again, when there's no defense breaks out on the field, kind of just sits there.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue, and I think he wanted to have that Kraka go for the armor breaks forward, but you already knew that there was very good odds where your enemy goes for a good 5th, you have to ban that 5th. You are then again very likely to get outsped by the enemy as well. At least the segment is very likely to be outspeeding you. And from there, it's just a downhill battle where it's like, okay, I'm getting outsped, I'm getting controlled, and then I'm using units that don't have passes. Whereas if you draft passes in those positions, you can always make a comeback. There could be a potential for a Wind Monkey stunning everything if they don't target the right thing, for Rakuni to cleanse, for Angela to cleanse, or anything like that. But in this case, some of these units didn't really work out.
No. But you've still got 1 point from that matchup today, and every point matters in our Summoners War European League. Remember, it's best of 2 matches. You get 1 point per set, and at the end, in that leaderboard, every single point matters. It's going to be very tight come the end of the season, and you can see these were the matches that we saw today. 9 of them in total, and some really, big amount of point shifts, I would say, that went into this one. The guys at the bottom probably stayed at the bottom. The ones that were in the mid-pack before this set of matches have kind of advanced to the very top of the leaderboard as well, and I'm sure we'll see that very, very soon. Any standout player for you today, say?
Well, I would say PinkRoid played very well, but then again, I would say that PinkRoid, the only lose that he did have was against the player that most people actually win most against. So, yeah, that's actually funny to see. Rank 1 player, the only draw he had today was against rank 12 player, which then again, it does show how interesting that can be from time to time. But we do see for the players of today, PinkRoid taking the lead and Malignant being second.
Exactly. There's a big shift there right now then. Everything's still to play for. There's realistically in the middle of that pack to get into the top 8, there's only 1 point separating between 5 and 6 points. Merle needs to try and grab back and not let fully go of that 11th position right now. Don't want to let it go away too much, but PinkRoid and Malignant and Tech have got a good little gap, I would say, right now, but you have to continue that into the next round of matches. Everyone, I believe, right now has played the exact same amount of matches as well, say. So let's find out in the coming weeks what it's going to look like for our playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone did play the same amount of matches right now. And it's interesting to see how close the people that are on 5 and 6 points are, because there's a few on 8, there's one on 9, but there's a lot of people on 5 and 6. And if you get one good day, as PinkRoid had today, you climbed 5 points, you immediately go to definitely being in the playoffs. But then again, we also have some more goodies for you guys. A little bit of energy, a little bit of more of potential Jongnams.
Yeah, if anyone gets back-to-back Jongnam dupes, then you might as well definitely use it in RTA, because it's probably a PinkRoid Jongnam, right?
Yeah, that's a PinkRoid Jongnam. Do me one of those. I don't want a normal Jongnam. I want a PinkRoid Jongnam. Those are better.
Hell yes, they are. Make sure you're using that code in-game, iOS or an Android, or anywhere, to be honest, wherever you're playing. But make sure you use it, grab that free stuff, and summon. And let us know maybe even in the chat what you got. Could be a Water Drunken Master. Maybe. You know, that's how we're all feeling anyway, so it's completely fine. But that was our match day number 4 for our Summoners War European League. Don't forget, we're still here, even next Wednesday, and the Wednesday after that, and the Wednesday after that. And I don't think we're the Wednesday after that, but one of the Wednesdays after that.
The Saturday after that.
Exactly. So make sure you set your alarms. 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. We'll be here, live on Seishiza's channel, live on YouTube, Summoners War Europe as well. Say, crazy matches. Anything from you to say?
Well, once again, crazy matches, and I love to see it. And I would say, most insane match of today, Slay. Love that cleave right there. Guys, thanks a lot for watching, and see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.